Hello, happy Saturday. So, let's see, do we have anyone joining us? Sorry, this was kind of last minute. So much has happened in the past 24 hours. And then our girl CJ, she had a really fun stream yesterday, and but she told us she was going to be taking a break until January, around like January 9th. And then today she found this article. And she's like, I have to put it in good hands. This still has to get out there. And so I posted it, hey, at the beach. So I posted it on my ex and I started reading it. And if you guys, follow my streams, I mostly just do the court docs. We do court docs, we do some true crime, but I really don't I don't focus on like the movie part really. I never even saw the movie. I'm not a big Hollywood person, movie person. I could care less. I just like the court docs. However, this article is so crazy. And I was like, I think I need to read it with everyone. Cause like I think the chat maybe even could help me understand. Um, by the way, I had to put this on there because I just thought it was funny. After our last stream, the twinsies. I don't know if CJ's here, Khaleesi. Is she? I don't think so because she was gonna take a social media break. But you know what? You just gave me a good idea. I'm gonna send her a link just in case she like has the itch to stop by. I don't think she will. Um, hold on. Oh, it's not letting me pick that. Okay. I'm gonna send it to her right this second. Okay, I just sent her a link. She's probably not gonna stop by, but she wanted this to get out because even though she took break. Christina, hello, how are you? So did you see this article? I posted on my X. I don't think you really use X, but CJ sent this to me, and not this. What I have on the screen, that was just for funsies. Just but I'm going to circle back to it. Don't let me forget. But okay, so yesterday we had this really fun stream, this anniversary, 1 year anniversary of the It Ends With Us saga lawsuit that CJ did, and all these amazing creators came on. And it was so cool to get to talk to everyone and meet everyone. And by the way, yours truly was the Jeopardy champion. We played It Ends With Us Jeopardy. So I know my stuff when it comes to court cases, but when it comes to, oh, yes, we're going to get to that in a second. When it comes to the movie stuff, though, that's really not my specialty. You took screenshots too, Christina said. I know, it was so funny. It looked like the Brady Bunch. That was really awesome. And I thought it was so cool. Like, Perez stopped by and whatnot, and then we had LGA was there, and then she kind of like seemed a little out of sorts and dipped out. So I just wanted to give her some love because I found today I learned some disturbing stuff about someone was did something that was not very nice to LGA in my opinion. I think, a creator posted a video and basically doxed her dad and said that she should have um that LGA should have disclosed that, like, I guess her and her dad were at an event, like, 10 years ago that had to do with the Baha'i faith or whatever in California, and it was, like and so therefore she has a conflict of interest, and by doing this, this creator also posted LGA's, like, her dad's face. I mean, she just basically doxed her. It was so messed up. So, you know what? And it was after LGA did her video on Van Zandt. She did a test on Van Zandt to see how she's gonna get censored because, you know, it seemed to make everyone's head spin who is, like, in the pro Lively camp. So, anyways, I just wanna give LGA a lot of love right now, and if you the person took this down, that creator took it down, and I don't want anyone to go attack them or anything because they don't give them the clicks, but give LGA the love. That's what I wanna do. Hey, Rose Wild. Okay, so now we're gonna get into this article, and you guys can tell me because this is not normally something I do. So if you guys don't want to do this article, we don't have to. But CJ's the one who sent it to me. Uh-oh, it says my browser lost connection. Try sharing your screen again. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me? Can I do a test? Testing. It said I lost audio. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I can hear me. I just tested on my own. Okay. So we're good. Okay, you can hear me. So I just got this notice on StreamYard that said I went out. Don't let Nick Shapiro win, right? So, do you guys, and let me just show you something. So, do you guys remember this really good article? Your free speech is under attack by Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I thought this was a really, really well-written article, and they covered a lot of things. Like this is journalism. I don't know this person. I don't know if any of you do, this journalist. I don't even know how to say it. I don't want to mess it up. Ammonia Dyke. But anyways, so CJ sent me this article that was the same author wrote today, and I thought it was maybe worth reading. So you guys can tell me what you think. Okay, so it doesn't let me zoom yet. Hold on. Let me stop sharing for 1 second so I can try and make it bigger and then come back. Let me try again. That's better, right? That's bigger. Okay. So it says Ryan Reynolds repeatedly engaged in suggestive behavior towards Joe Keery. So I didn't even know who these people are really. Interview and social media posts reveal that Reynolds made inappropriate advances towards his younger co-star during the promotional tour and filming of Free Guy. Have you guys seen Free Guy? I haven't. I mean, again, I'm not a movie person. This is going to be an interesting article for people like I want to say like Mandy to cover. I was on Mandy's stream today, like or I, um was in the chat for Mandy's stream today, and she was, she's really awesome and she has a lot of experience like in this field. So she probably knows all these people. This is about Steve. Everyone protect him at all costs. Steve. Oh, wait, Steve, is it? Hold on. Are you talking about Steve Levy? Steve Harrington? You're going to have to tell me because I do not know. This might be a really bad stream because I am not in the movie industry. Okay, so I commented she's the only one reporting the truth on this subject. She had another article about Blake's actions towards Jamie Heath had some racist undertones towards it also. Oh, really? Well, you know what? I already linked this article that I'm going to cover in the description. So definitely give this person, they're on Medium. So definitely like give them some support because they do real good deep dives. I haven't even finished this. Okay, you guys have to tell me who's, oh, Steve from Stranger Things. Is Stranger Things still on? What did he used to look like? Because I only saw the first 2 seasons. Let me see, because I can't even tell who he is by that photo. Oh, he was like the boyfriend, right? Okay, well, we're going to keep going. So it says, interviews and social media posts reveal that Reynolds made inappropriate advances towards his younger co-star during the promotional tour and filming of Free Guy. So this is that guy, the Steve from Stranger Things. Wow. Okay, so it says the Me Too movement is about shining a light on the darkness that goes on behind closed doors in Hollywood, yet sometimes there's no need to open the door. The shadows are dancing right before our eyes, and all it takes is a closer look at the one casting them. As previously reported, there is extensive evidence that Ryan Reynolds held an unusually high degree of power on the set of Free Guy, an action comedy adventure released in 2021. Although he is officially credited only as a PGA marked producer and lead actor, he was deeply involved in and held the ultimate authority for every creative role, including writing the script, casting, directing, editing, and music selection. Wow, who does that sound like? There was nothing in the production process that he didn't touch. Isn't that interesting? Only as a PGA, what is this whole obsession with the PGA thing? I don't. The first time I've ever heard of that was from the Blake Lively part. Um, Rose Wild says Emonia is the only one that or is the only one that is well-known journalist that I've seen reporting accurately, truthfully for the past year. I agree, and like, so I hope that they're getting a lot of views. I can't really tell, but this dropped today, and so like your girl CJ, she's like, I want this to go in good hands. I feel like this needs to get out there, and I was like, well, this is not really my stomping ground at all. I'm not familiar like with the movies or any of these people, but we're gonna take a stab at it. It was through the review of dozens of promotional materials and hours of interviews for the previous article that the pattern of Reynolds' behavior towards his co-star Joe Keery emerged. Casting Keery. Joe Keery is best known for his role as Steve Harrington in Netflix's Stranger Things. In Free Guy, he plays Walter Keys McKees, an indie video game programmer who gets exploited by a powerful game publisher that steals his code and profits off it. The story of Free Guy takes place in the real world and a video game world called Free City, with Carey's character featuring in both environments. It is his role and appearance in the latter that will be particularly important. So that's him. Sean Levy. Okay, so this is like where I started to be like, I need to just read this with you guys. Why is Sean Levy in here? Why is he everywhere? Also, CJ told me that Sean Levy, I guess, is going to apparently like or bought the rights to do some sort of like Sesame Street thing or something. Is that true? Do you guys know about that? Because like that kind of blew my mind with the whole like thinking that Michael Gottlieb is like the Count from Sesame Street. I'm just like, wow, they really do go and perverse everything. You haven't seen Free Guy. Either have I. Honestly, I can't even remember the last movie I've seen. I watch a lot of like true crime and body cam footage, and I read a lot of court docs and I watch YouTube, and I don't see a lot of movies, but I do have some close connections though in Hollywood, and I ask them about this when I see them. And they've given me some they're the ones who like told me how Judge Lyman's father was a big time Hollywood lawyer, which I didn't even know. Like we knew, his dad, when you look him up, was definitely like a big lawyer, but he's more famous for some of the others, whatever happened like with Iran or something. But I didn't know until I really looked that up that like, yeah, he was the Hollywood lawyer. Like for like all the like Warner Brothers, Time Warner, like huge, everyone knew who he was. So this is what my sources said. So that's why I just find it interesting. I'm like, well, okay, it's not really like Lyman's brother. Like, yeah, he's a director, whatever, but his dad seems to maybe could have possibly influenced how he treats people in Hollywood who come in his courtroom. But that's just all allegedly, in my opinion. Uh-oh, where's my banner? Hold on. Let's make sure we have my banner. Um, Here we go. Show. Why are my colors changed? What is going on with StreamYard? Well, I guess we're not going to change it. Oh, look. It's not going to let me change it. Whatever. I guess I'm blue today, but that's fine. We'll just keep going. We're going to roll with it. Where's my chat? No, I lost the chat. Okay, hold on. Here we go. I see y'all. His brother did a documentary on workplace SH in 2023 or 24, also that most do not know. Are you serious? Doug Liman did a documentary on workplace SH? That is so funny. I'm still on Sean Levy's side until I see evidence he was directly involved. I think he is a dragon. I don't think he knows he's a dragon. I believe that. That's a good point. Um, Mildly Mercurial. Good point. Good to see you. Hit the like for allegedly. Yeah. What happened to my banner, you guys? I'm so sad. Can I not change the color live on stream? Well, I guess that is, but it's not letting me do my other color. Whatever. It's fine. I'll get over it. Okay, sorry, we have to keep going. So, comments. Okay. I would look at Sean Levy interviews, Mal. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's something weird. We're going to keep reading this article. Trying to catch up. Hi, everybody. Christy, hi. And actually, since I have you here, anytime I see Christy in the chat, I do this thing where I have to gift memberships because I want her to get one. I really, really do. Okay, I'm going to send out 5. Ugh. Okay. Let's see if this works. That'd be amazing if she gets one. Oh, Max, you got one? Jules Forever, who I've never seen in the chat. See Bruce, who I've never seen. Marilyn, Buzz Ballistic. Christy, girl, you've got to check your settings. I don't know. I think maybe you have it turned off, or maybe this is broken. But we're gonna keep going. Sorry, I got so distracted there. Hi, Sundrop. How are you? I haven't seen you forever. Oh, thanks, Christina. So we're gonna keep trying with Christy. I want her to get a membership. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Okay, so Sean Levy, director of Free Guy, had at that point worked closely with Kiri for a few years as an executive producer and director of Stranger Things. According to Kiri, this connection didn't land him the role of Free Guy. He still had to audition. Obviously, we had a relationship for working on Stranger Things, Kiri said, but besides that show, I really haven't done too much, so I kind of had to prove that I can do it. Yet the behind-the-scenes process of approving Kiri for the role suggests that Ryan Reynolds didn't need much nudging. Levy says after Kiri sent his audition tape, Levy brought it to Reynolds' apartment to watch. I'm sitting there with Ryan and his wife, Blake Lively, Levy recalled, and they're fans of Stranger Things, but they had no idea the guy who played Steve Harrington could do what Joe did with his character in Free Guy. 3 or 4 lines in, we made the decision right then and there in the apartment. On its face, this account seems above board, but there are some caveats to consider. As previously reported, Levy has a pattern of laundering the truth. Whoa. Laundering the truth on Reynolds' behalf in what appears to be an attempt to conceal information Reynolds doesn't want made public. Levy lied about getting full permission to include all the Disney and Marvel references that were in Free Guy. He also lied about the character dude, who seems to be a caricature, I cannot say that, caricature of Dwayne Johnson in the way that Nice Pool is a caricature of Justin Baldoni. Being in the script from day one, one of Levy's claims that hasn't yet been discussed is that Blake Lively was responsible for Taika Waititi. Who is that? Taika Waititi's casting as the villain in Free Guy, Antoine. Reynolds also made this claim, but that isn't true either. Waititi, how do you say that? Waititi revealed that the choice was prompted by his talent agency, CAA. So, I mean, that's interesting, right? I'm sorry, I mean, DFJ. Oh, hey, what's up? How are you? Rose Wild said, oh, Aunt Lala got one. Nice. Oh, really? Yay. Oh, I think I remember when Aunt Lala got one. That's awesome. Okay. Hey, everyone. Oh, YTT is how I say it. Thank you, Shinonos. By the way, you guys, Shinonos became a member on, that was my last, not the last live, the one before. And for whatever reason, I didn't see it. And I'm so sorry, but I am so appreciative because you are one of the OGs. And every time I see you and I see this adorable, do you see this little cute dog? I don't know if that's your dog, but it makes me so happy. So it's so good to see you. And thank you. YTT, that makes more sense. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Oh my gosh, Ki Aloha, oh my God, I'm not gonna say your name right either. Ki Aloha Lee 84 gifted 5 memberships. Are you serious? That is so nice. Thank you so much. Wow. That's like, honestly, I love the spirit of giving. I love the holidays, and that really warms my heart. Thank you so much. Oh, so that's what you're saying. So that's how these other people got these memberships. I see. Thank you. So sometimes I miss those things, but I'm going to be better at it. So thank you very much. Yeah, it really is the best community ever, you guys. Seriously, like, I have so many wonderful things to say. And like yesterday when I was with CJ and we on her stream for like the 1 year, we were thinking of the top moments. And for the last one, I was like, it has to be the community. Like, we have to say like Team Truth, because like none of the truth would get out there without the whole community. You know what I mean? So it's like everyone like just even liking the video, coming into the chat, putting up with us. Like, I learned how to stream during this lawsuit. Like, I was a mess the first time, and you guys were so nice and so supportive. You're like, it's okay, take your time. So I thought that was really cool. And are you serious right now? Oh my gosh. I think um Kielo Holly 84 just gifted another 5 memberships. Wow, you guys. I mean, I'm like, don't make me cry. I cannot like get choked up yet. We have a whole stream to get through, but thank you so much. It honestly, it really means so much to me. And I love it because I just love that more people can be members. And by the way, if you are a member, we have special emojis that Lima made for us. If you press the little happy face, like in the chat box, there's like a little emoji face. You press that, and then you'll see there's the DFJ, Don't F with Justice. So you'll see all these little squirrels. She made those. I made the ones that are not as cute. Like I made these the milk jugs and this crazy cat, but she made these are the ones I made, and then she made all of these little squirrels, which are just so cute. And she just made a holiday one for us too. So, anyways, check that out if you're a member. And Christy, we got to get you. I need to get. You're gonna be a member eventually. If I have to just like keep buying memberships. You checked your settings. It's on, not sure why. Thank you for trying. Well, we're gonna keep trying, don't worry. So anyways, now you're all caught up. And I saw Kenny was here. How are you doing, Kenny? Oh, she has the milk chocolate. Yes. We love Kenny. Okay. We're gonna keep going. Here we go. So now, when Levy claims that Lively was present when Carrie's audition tape was viewed, there is reason to suspect that Levy may once again not be speaking the truth. What's telling is the contrast between the narrative surrounding Carrie's casting of and that of Free Guy co-star Jodie Comer. Comer says that she received the script through her agent, met with Sean Levy over FaceTime, then flew to New York to audition in person by doing a chemistry read with Reynolds. Levy said that Comer was among dozens of actresses who auditioned for the role. Reynolds and Levy narrowed it down to 5, then selected Comer. All in all, a typical Hollywood casting process. Across dozens of interviews of Reynolds, Levy, and Curie, there is no mention of any other actors competing for the role of Keyes. He's kind of been a champion of mine for some unknown reason to me, really, Curie said about Levy. And then it says Reynolds advances during the promotional tour. Principal photography for Free Guy began May 14th, 2019, and wrapped on July 31st. Promotional activities began 2 months later in early October when the full cast of Free Guy made an appearance at New York Comic Con. This included Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Joe Keery, Lil Rel Howery, and I'm never going to pronounce that right, Ambu Dakar, along with the director Sean Levy. Taika Waititi was not present, but attended remotely later in the panel. During the live New York Comic Con panel, the moderator tells Carrie, Joe, I heard Ryan give you quite a compliment yesterday, which was that no one delivers exposition as eloquently as you do in this scene and in this movie. He is very kind in saying so, Carrie responds. Reynolds interjects, he delivers exposition better than anyone I've ever seen in my life, he says glowingly, turning to look at Carrie as he speaks. Carrie bows his head, concealing his face. You make it entertaining and riveting, all the while looking like a goddamn snack. Reynolds punctuates the last 2 words with emphasis. When Carrie responds, he steers his answer back to the moderator's original question about delivering exposition. So they have these pictures. And by the way, so I just want to show you though, like throughout this whole thing, I mean, they got a lot of good photos, like, and they start getting weirder and like weirder as you go on to kind of back up their, I mean, I don't know what is going on there, but it just like, it's like, it just keeps getting weirder. And I have to show you this one. Where's the one with the banana? I mean, we don't have to look at this one. I mean, what is happening? I don't know, you guys. We're not even I mean, we're only going to read like whatever, like maybe part of this. What do you guys think? You want me to keep going? Should we keep reading it? Wow. Oh, oh my gosh. Kialoha, can you tell me how to say your name so I don't mess it up, right? So I don't keep messing up. I think it's Kialoha, Alohali 84 just gifted. I'm not even kidding you guys. They just gifted 20 more memberships. I don't even know if we have 20 people in the chat. I can't even tell. We have 31 people. That's a lot, but like, wow, that is amazing. I so much appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you. Who got one? Anyone in the chat? Where can I see who got them? Oh, I have to go to the YouTube one. Wow, look at this. Sundrop got one. Miriam got one. This is so cool. Mild Mercurial got one. Oh, well, I think you had one before, right? Wow, this is amazing. I don't even have words how much to say how much I appreciate you, but I appreciate you so much. I mean, it means a lot to me because honestly, I was telling people I was going to retire like at the end of the year if I didn't have like 1,000 subscribers because I was like, it's a lot of work and if it's not landing with people, why would I even do it? Like if I'm not doing a good job, it's like why would I want to keep doing it? But then it's like, no, there are people who do say, that are saying that like they appreciate putting the truth out there and they do appreciate it even if it's a smaller group and so I'm like okay, you guys you make it worth it and I will keep speaking the truth and even if it doesn't land with a wider audience, that's fine. I'm going to keep doing it my own way and we're going to just make sure that the truth does not get hidden by MSM. Here's Christina. Sorry, I'm not even in StreamYard. uh she says, "Sorry, guys, I'm eating and can't do much." Oh my gosh, don't even worry. Honestly, yesterday was supposed to be like a 2-hour stream with CJ, and we were on like 4.5 hours. I was exhausted afterwards. And Christina was there the whole time and had modded before that. So don't even worry, Christina. We love you. And I'm lucky, like, I haven't made it to the point where I have trolls yet in my chat. So with membership gifting, the gifts are distributed among all the users that interact with the channel, regardless of whether you're watching when it happens. The more interaction, higher chances. That's what Rosa says. Well, thank you. And that's what I kind of heard also. But, I would hope that, like, because she's always here. Like, she's one of, like, the original crew. And it's for whatever, she can't get one. Hey, Camilla. Here's Wrathful. Absolutely. I only have 188 subs and I appreciate every single one. I'm with you. The truth tellers unite. And yeah, and that was one of I think the big things I left with after that big stream yesterday, because it was, the anniversary stream was that it's only going to get worse with the media, MSM just kind of like putting out like we even saw it already. Did you guys see that like Variety article that mentioned like whatever, just mentioned a bunch of lies. Nag called it out and just with I think it was with the sanctions filing and it just said that like Baldoni's like they're trying to sanction him and he shouldn't be able to bring up her like past sexual history and it's just like well that actually is not what the sanction was about at all. Variety like way to do a horrible job and so Nag totally called it out. She's just like she said lies. She's like this is all lies. It's literally what she said. So it's crazy. It's like they don't care and like that's Variety is considered mainstream. It's like supposedly a step above like I don't know, a tabloid, but yet they can just report like that. So cool, Sleuthing. Thanks for the gift membership. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, the Sleuthing, the Sleuthing squirrel. That's from Lena. Okay, so we'll keep going. Do you guys want to keep going with the article? Actually, it's a lot longer article than I thought, but we can keep going a little bit. And now I've already passed where we were. Okay, so we went up to here. Okay, so 2 months later, Reynolds uploaded a script promotional clip for Free Guy onto his YouTube channel featuring himself, Comer, Kiri, and Howery. It's a fake infomercial for the items Reynolds' characters wears in the film, such as his blue shirt, tie, and name tag. During the skit, Reynolds faces Kiri as he asks the question, "Do you know what people like more than films?" or Joe Kiri, value. The question seems innocuous on its own, but it's this singling out of Kiri and exclusive attention that does not get applied to any of the other co-stars that gets progressively more inappropriate as time goes on. 3 days later, Reynolds is featured in a print interview of Stranger Things actor Finn Wolfhard. For some reason, Reynolds is the one who interviewed Wolfhard instead of a reporter. The reason given is that they're both from Vancouver, but it seems a flimsy one in light of what they end up talking about. Although the conversation is supposed to be about Wolfhard, it swings uncomfortably in Kiri's direction. When Wolfhard talks about how the Stranger Things cast dressed up as the Ghostbusters characters for their Halloween costumes in the show, Reynolds talks about his real-life Halloween plans. For Halloween, I'm going as Joe Keery's character, Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, in his little ice cream outfit. I'm in love with Joe, Reynolds says. The ice cream outfit he is referring to is a navy blue sailor outfit with shorts and a small white apron that gives Carrie a childlike boyish look. Is this really what he looks like in Stranger Things? I don't remember that. But I mean, I see it, so maybe. Wearing the uniform of the Scoops Ahoy ice cream shop. Okay, so when I watched it, I did not remember that part. Reynolds asks Wolfhard about a social media post, then brings up Curie again. I noticed that there was this picture that Millie Bobby Brown posted on her Instagram when you were fixing her dress at the Stranger Things season 3 premiere, Reynolds told Wolfhard. She wrote, "The Ryan to my Blake." Oh man, I had no idea, Wolfhard responds. I know actors don't usually like to speak about their love lives, but I have to ask it because everyone who watches Stranger Things is dying to know, is there anything going on between me and Joe Curie? Wolfhard plays along and continues down this line of thought, implying that there will be a wedding and procreation between the two actors. The first thing I'll say is that I got the invite. The second thing I'll say is that I got a little something for the baby, and it's a little baby blue little leotard, and I wanted to let you know if he doesn't like blue, if he hates it, if he swats at it, then you can just return it, okay? And this says from suggestive words to physical touch. So I just let's just read the caption. So this is like, okay, from suggestive words to physical touch. And like, look at this. I mean, I don't see it like so bad yet. And then it says the Free Guy script was rewritten to put Curie in tighter, more revealing clothing. I mean, it said that Reynolds was in charge of like everything, right? So was he in charge of wardrobe? Like, okay, so now he's in tighter clothing. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's best, if I should just leave the rest for you guys to read so that this author gets like the clicks. Look, Curie's reaction to Reynolds' attention. So I heard Ryan Reynolds was quite starstruck to meet you, said the interviewer. Curie looks completely shocked, a disbelieving smile on his face. The interviewer continues her question as he makes a face saying, "You look starstruck to meet him as well. What was it like working with him?" And he makes his like face. I can't imagine he was very starstruck to meet me, Carrie answers. The first time I met him, I was in that cop getup, I think, and me and Utkarsh were chasing him around. It was pretty crazy, to be honest with you. So then it goes on to say, like, this is normal. I mean, should we read this part? Let me see what the chat's saying. DFJ, don't give up. We are here for you, and you'll only grow bigger and get better. Oh, thank you, Sundrop. I appreciate that. Oh, look, everyone's playing with the emojis. How cool is that? Khaleesi, only some of the accounts can accept, only personal, not brand. Oh, yeah, that's what I heard. But then didn't they change that or no? So Sundrop says, we love exposing the truth and need more people like you. I know. We need to keep exposing the truth. Exactly. Yeah, with especially like if we're ever gonna get anything about like Van Zandt, I don't know if anything about with Van Zandt is ever gonna like if we're ever gonna get anything more in this case. It's just I have no idea what's gonna happen with it. But just like when anytime you report on it, it's like that's what gets like gets taken down. You know, you can get strikes or like so far it looks like most people on YouTube, except for me, have been okay. Oh, Nag was pissed. Yeah, she was. Definitely. John loves Grok. Everyone's green. No way. Christy got one. You're kidding me. Did she really? Does she know? Oh my gosh. It's a miracle. Honestly, Christy, you should go play the lottery today because we have been trying this for so long and we were like the only one not getting one. Yay, Christy. Yay. That's amazing. I cannot believe she finally got one. How amazing. I know. Ryan is gross. Right? So I'm just like this article. I mean, we're still waiting to see his text messages, remember? Like when who was it was Wayfair in response to the sanctions, I believe it was Lively and Reynolds filed Rule 11 sanctions against them for their countersuit or their lawsuit against Lively and Reynolds and in their response they put a bunch of like Ryan text messages which are sealed so we can't see them. And of course now everything's sealed and we're never going to be able to see anything maybe maybe next year after like January 5th, we'll be able to see some stuff, but we'll see about that. So cool. Everyone's getting this is like so happy these holidays. Everyone's green. How cool is that? I know ew, did you see those pictures of Reynolds? I mean, this article is crazy. So I don't know what the best way to do it, if I should just leave it here, because I want to make sure the author gets clicks, like in the algorithm. I know how that is. So um much appreciation for the membership. I can't afford to do anything right now. I'm dealing with someone doing identity theft on me, and my life is upside down, and I'm happy to be a member. Well, thank you, Mary V. And I'm so sorry to hear about that. Like, identity theft is awful. Like, and especially during the holidays, I hear it goes up. And honestly, there's other ways to support this stream, like being in the chat. Like, that is supportive. Leaving comments, like when you see a video from a creator, even liking a video, all of that is like, it's just as valuable as, you know, buying memberships or whatever. Like, it's all part of the system. So. Look at Kenny. She says, Rathel, I just saw your John Loves Croc. I laugh my ass off. So creepy. The gall of these creeps to do this to Justin and Jamie. I know, right? Seriously. He does have great hair. Yeah, he does. So, I mean, did you guys know this story before it came out? Because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know what this movie was. I can use the cute emojis. I feel like a kid. Good. Please do. Makes me so happy. Mia is spreading the Christmas joy. Hold on, did Mia? Yes, thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Straight up arsonist, right, Holly? I mean, that's what I said, and when I posted on X, I was like, he's a self-proclaimed arsonist, and he is the CEO of Van Zandt. So just, this deep dive, and I almost like worry now about this author. Like, I hope nothing, that this doesn't get their account taken down or anything. Because that's one of the reasons why also people don't like, it's hard for people to expose the truth because they get targeted by these people. Bot John was working hard to get ahead of this bull that just came out. Who is Bot John? Thank you. Yeah. Good luck to you, Mary. That sucks. I didn't know this story, but I had seen other pneumonia articles about Ryan and Blake's bad behavior in the lawsuit. Yeah, I really liked their article about the silencing creators. I saw a video of RR sitting on Steve's lap and then saw this article posted on Reddit. Oh, is this article on Reddit? Well, that's good. So at least it's getting it around. Isn't Free Guy the movie Brett says Ryan based him on? I don't know. Was it Free Guy or was it like the maybe? Or was it like the dead? I thought it was one of the Deadpools. I don't know. It's there multiple Deadpools. Worst bot ever. He called Grok boss. Really? Did you guys expose a bot somewhere and I missed it? That is really funny. Oh, the author of this article. The author of this article posted on Reddit. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Which one of the Reddits is a good one now? Because I kind of had stopped looking in there because they kind of all got a little crazy. John is a guy who was spamming my posts and then wraths for like 2 days on Twix. He used Grok to try and call us out until I blocked Grok. You blocked Grok, Kenny? I didn't know you could do that. Wow. You probably hurt his feelings. At this point, we should all start emailing Variety people, Daily Mail, etc., for the ridiculous one-sided lying articles. Well, yeah, I think just exposing them. Because, like, I remember, like, when I would post, like, anytime they do a post, like, saying lies, like, I always call it out. I think that's important to call it out. And I will sometimes email the authors to ask for clarification. Like, do you remember the one after the Taylor Swift extortion drama dropped? Remember there was the article that said that like Swift and Lively's lawyers are friends. I did not let them live that down. Do you guys remember that? It's like that was the headline they ran with, was that like they're friends and like not about the extortion. And I was like, no. My ChatGPT told me Grok was a troll version of ChatGPT. Did it really? My ChatGPT is stupid. When I try to use it, I feel like it never gives me the right answers. Um, Kenny versus Grok, docket 29864. That is so funny. Okay. So should we keep going with this article, or do you guys want to get to the filings? You tell me. You guys kind of can lead the chat, or we could also get to. I don't know this. I don't know if everyone here was also following Aaron Spencer. If I should do that on a different one, because I also have updates on that. So we can either do this article, we can go into the filings, or we could do an update on the Aaron Spencer. You guys tell me. I wonder how to do a poll. Can I do a poll from here? Let me see. I have no idea how to do this. Oh, I could do a goal, but I don't want to do a goal. Let me try to do a poll real quick. Oh, wow. Thanks for making sure we got the CJ freestyle. Oh, Khaleesi, how cool was that? I mean, that was at the very end. At the very, very, very end. That was really cool. I had no idea she was doing that. That was like a total surprise. So that was really cool. And also, thank you, Khaleesi. You also became one of my mods this year. And I absolutely love you. You're always supporting like the first one to like comment and support us. So thank you so much. Whatever's easier. Well, whatever you guys want. Rose Wild says, I think the article, it says stuff about Sean Levy being caught in lies and similar to tomfoolery as this case with RR. So do you think I should keep doing it? Do this article. I need more ammunition for Blake Boss. Okay. I'm not sure if you mentioned it beyond RR text, putting kids to bed, but they were in the response to RR trying to enter the chat filing, I believe. I thought it was for the sanctions. I did that on TMZ video. They were pathetic and that who could ever believe anything they report on anymore. Okay. Let me see what else. He isn't going away. He's your number one fan. Yeah, CJ's was good. Okay. So do we have whatever we do, let's make fun of Esra during that depot. You guys. I can't believe that's real. I honestly cannot believe that's real. And that dropped like it was like I took an hour off yesterday to go walk that land. And then I posted like her request, the extension for the ceiling. And then Wayfarer's response. Then I left and I came back and it was like 15 things dropped. And then it was right before CJ started her stream. So I didn't even get to like look at them or really read them until like way later. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, are you serious right now? Yeah, she crashed out. Like, that is like, and what I can't even get over it. Like, I put up a video today, right when another filing came out, because one of the exhibits that they posted yesterday was redacted. It was the December 15th hearing. And the December 15th, remember, it was like for the public, but they didn't tell us about it until after it was over. But it was an excerpt from that. And so then they posted it today on a Saturday. She has Gottlieb working on a Saturday. The Count from Sesame Street is working on a Saturday. And it makes them look so bad. This guy. She has this guy working on Saturday. And I just think it made them look so much worse. Anyways, okay, so let's go back to this tab. She was unhinged. I wish I was there watching that live. I know. Too bad that they couldn't have told us like before it started. But it looked like it was like an emergency hearing because of this deposition. And Fritz basically told them like, if you want to complain, tell the judge, whatever. And so then they did, and they went and they asked the judge for this emergency hearing about this deposition of this witness who was sick. And then they badgered her about like, well, what were you sick with? Why were you really sick? Or, like stuff that like doesn't need to go on the record. I did a video on Esra. What a baby. Oh, I have to watch it, Wrathful. Oh, Girly got a membership too. That's so cool. Oh, the 9 minutes. I want my 9 minutes. I have 9 minutes. I'm going to take a 10-minute break, and then I'm going to use my 9 minutes. Like, honestly, what is that? And, I haven't mentioned this until today, but do you know that Ezra's has been filed for divorce? And I'm just saying, I mean, whatever. I don't usually like to get into that stuff, but like after seeing some of this behavior, I'm just like, no wonder. Someone needs to make Ezra a baby throwing a tantrum next to baby Blake because Blake took her toy. I mean, I know I was thinking that too. I was like, I can't even find a good enough like gift for this. Like someone's gonna have to make it. You know who's really good at that is well, Lena's good, but you know who else? Asshole Media, Jesse and Max. Like they might be able to come up with something. Oh, you want Bocce to write a song called 9 Minutes about that? I mean, honestly, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. This is my deposition. I know, like all these lines. And that was like, it's so crazy that came from her team. Like this, I was like, how does any of this make you look good? And if this is what you're using to try to help make you look good, like you really have nothing. Also, maybe if they didn't spend so much time writing sanctions, they could have actually done the redactions and not had to have asked for that extension. It's insane to me. That was crazy ridiculous. Can you imagine how she's been in other things with this trial? And, from what we've seen, I definitely think she's been like very difficult to work with and crazy. But like that crash out, man. And that's coming from her team. Why are they posting that? Can someone explain that to me? Oh, that sucks. Divorce is so difficult. Yeah, I mean, it does suck, but also it's like, I want my 9 minutes. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And, uh, I caught part of Lauren's stream. She was with Cassidy, and Cassidy made a good point where she's like, yes, everyone you have a right to an attorney, and your attorney wants to do what's best for the client. And like, but she's not being forced to represent Lively. She's not being forced to do any of this. Like, she could still represent her and not act like this. Like, they're choosing to act like they're choosing to do some of this stuff. Kenny, yep, she doesn't want the witness to make a statement. Here, check out my lawyer being unhinged. It's bananas. It is difficult, but not surprising. Yeah, the divorce is difficult, but it's not surprising. Brett claims Free Guy is heavily based on him and Aiko, and also the dog pool was based on his service dog. I remember that about dog pool. I did not know about Free Guy. I didn't even know what Free Guy was a movie until I was reading this article right now, but I could see that. And then they're also saying that Dwayne The Rock Johnson was like one of the characters was based on him. Is that true? This was a great reading. Okay, so should we you guys want to keep doing the article, or you want to go to the filings, or you want to do Aaron Spencer? And 9 minutes for BS questions, abusive indeed. And that was the other thing. It was like, why are they asking about the lawyer's former, like a deceased client? Why? They're just trying to get whatever PR they can get onto the record, and that's all they're doing. They're like, whatever SEO words we can get, let's just like ask it, get it, so that we can just run with it. Because these idiots at Variety and the Hollywood Reporter and who are some of the other ones, Deadline, that they'll just run with it. Kabela says, I think Ezra is freaking humiliated because of all her milk jugs loves. She's a joke now, I bet, in her profession. Yes, and those like Costco bulk subpoenas. The subpoena gate was crazy. I mean, 107 content creator subpoenas, and only one they're pursuing. They still haven't gotten anything. And the one they're pursuing is for the documentary. That's not going to have anything that's going to be helpful for Lively's claims. Shanono says, Wrathful, just went to your channel and watched a bit of your video. Too funny. We'll watch the rest after this live. Your Ezra voice is amazing. Okay, well, we're going to have to check that out. Okay. Rose Wild said, it's okay no matter what you choose to cover. It's up to you, DFJ. I'm enjoying it all. Okay. Well, I just like to ask you guys, because I was like, I didn't realize this was going to be a really long article. I saw somewhere the guy character was based. Yeah, someone else said that. The guy was based on Dwayne. I mean, if that's true, is everything that he does is like based on people, like to get back at people? Thank you. You enjoy making fun of her.
Can be in the tune of Madonna's and JT's only 4 minutes for the 9 minutes. That would be good. That's so funny. Okay, so let's see. So okay, we'll just keep going through the article. Because this is right before the banana part. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so this is normal. If there were any doubts as to the sexual undertones of Reynolds' words, a picture is worth 1,000 of them. And there are 2 pictures. On December 7th, 2019, Reynolds and Kiri each uploaded a photo of their Instagram stories. In both versions, Kiri has his arms back and at his sides, leaning his body down and forward. Reynolds holds a half-eaten banana up to Kiri's mouth using both of his hands, gold wedding band on his finger. Okay. It says this is very normal. I mean, okay. In Reynolds' version of the photo, Kiri's mouth is wide open as Reynolds positions the banana into it. Reynolds' caption says, "Helping Uncle Jezzy," Kiri's Instagram username before he left social media in 2022. Okay. In Kiri's version of the photo, Kiri's mouth is closed around the banana, touching it. The caption says, "This is normal." Sorry, I don't mean to skip through these. Let's make sure that you guys actually see them. I mean, I don't see anything super wrong with this yet, but like he is his boss, right? Can you imagine if Justin Baldoni did this with Blake? I'm just saying, those are the rules, you know, the actor and the PGA credit person. Okay. The expression and body language of Reynolds are chilling in how much they differ from his typical public persona. In the first photo, there is a tense but silent stillness to him, eyes turned down as he concentrates wholly on the banana near Kiri's mouth. In the second, there is a dissociating stare into the distance as if he knew what he was doing was wrong. Kiri was 27 at the time. Reynolds was 43. Wow, how old is Reynolds now then? What year was that? 2019. So how old is Reynolds now? Like, is he 50? Okay. Let me see what the chat says. You guys are so so funny. Ryan is a disgusting verb. I mean, I don't know. Christy says you agree with Kenyan math. Yeah. Look at Kay Bella. My milk jugs demand my 9 minutes in the yard. Oh my God. Oh my God. Seriously. I want my 9 minutes. And I'm going to take a break. I'm gonna have to make like I think I'm gonna have to make a graphic. Oh, he's 49 now. Okay, thanks, Rose Wild. We're gonna have to make a graphic of like all those quotes from that. I mean, even the ones they quoted from Wayfair, they're such owns. It's like they're owning themselves. It's like, why are you posting? Why are you putting that in a filing? But he looks 79. Curly says Reynolds looks 79. I mean, I don't like to judge people on their looks, but just like when you have a lot of frivolous lawsuits, I mean, it can definitely add, age to you. That's what stress does. And also one more thing before we keep going, because one of the things yesterday that came up in Jeopardy was that I got right was the Katie case. Like their obsession with Case and Coslow. Like I've been talking about this forever. Like when I say forever, like, I mean, I was looking on my YouTube, like from 4 months ago, I was talking about like Jones and Lively's obsession with Case. And like, I couldn't figure it out. And I have a whole new theory now. Do you guys want to hear it? I know this is like out of nowhere, but, because, in some of the depositions, they're making it sound like, okay, well, she admitted to writing stuff for the Stephanie Jones Leaks and Lies website, but and then at some point it looks like from like what the questions are that they're saying that like she was told to do it by someone almost to like cover herself. But I honest to God do not think it had anything to do with Melissa Nathan or Jed Wallace at all. I think because when you look at the Stephanie Jones Leaks and Stephanie Jones Lies website, which I have like a lot of videos on, basically it's all former employees. When you look at the writing and the language of it, like this wasn't a hit piece on Stephanie Jones from like, for example, like it's not like Melissa Nathan had to do anything to like get a leg up on Stephanie Jones. Like she was already like at capacity with clients and she was making, a lot of money with Wayfair. And all the language that when you read what they say in the articles, it all seems like it was just former employees, basically. And that's all it was. And and Case is the only one that was a former employee. I mean, Abel was too, but like I don't think she had anything to do with this. But because they're only trying to pin it like on Nathan and Jed Wallace for some reason, and essentially Wayfair. But anyways, because I was trying to like figure it out, because when with the way like some of the depositions were going, when Jed's like, I don't know, like I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, have you seen this? She was going to send it to you. I could see Case maybe like sending it out, being like, hey, you guys, look at this or whatever. But I do not see, and I think if there was proof, we would have seen it by now, of like Nathan literally directing her to write something like this, or Jed. I don't think they did. I honestly think that was like a rogue thing. It was one of the former employees that did that to expose Stephanie Jones. I don't think it has anything to do with Nathan and Wallace. And that's why I think they really are saying, like, when Wallace was saying he doesn't recall, I really honestly believe he's like, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't recall. Rose Wild, is there? Okay, so oops, let me go to your first one. You said, so there was a recent filing where Stephanie Jones cooperated with Wayfair for dates, but Blake didn't. And then right after, there was a filing for a motion to compel Wayfair and Stephanie Jones now. Do you think there's a crack in the alliance? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I did see that. But with the Stephanie Jones one, is they keep saying like, well, there's no date for a trial. So like that's why we can have all these other dates. And like she's still, her case is a mess. Stephanie Jones' case is a mess, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. Was it about the deadline dates, or are you talking about like something else, other dates? Like dates that would like put holes in their story? Tell me more, Rose Wild. Shanona knows. Okay, I thought Katie Case just said she wrote a copy, and then that copy turned up on the website. So technically, she didn't say she wrote it for the website. Do I have it wrong? I kept saying that too. I was like, that's that she had maybe like had drafted things that were supposed to be on the website, but and that maybe that she was like told to or something. But I don't know if what she wrote actually ever did end up on the website or not. And even if it did, I think it was a whole separate thing from this. I mean, which is crazy for Stephanie Jones, who is like a PR professional, that she is putting more attention onto these websites that, that were like not up for that long, of former employees that want to expose her. And where all these people that have similar stories to what we read on the Glassdoor reviews, it really is wild. But there just seems to like, so I could see if maybe something she drafted, maybe someone else put it up on the site, but she is one of the only ones who actually did work for her. So I don't know. It's just a theory I have, because some people are like, oh, it, it sounds like someone's lying or something. And I was like, no, I actually don't know if anyone's lying. I just think that like that this is something totally different. Also, even if she did write something and it ended up on the website, whatever, it's not defamation. Facts aren't defamation. If it was facts, if it was like facts as a former employee, it's not defamation, in my opinion. Hey, SS Web, thank you to whoever gifted the membership. Oh, you get to use one of the emojis. How cool is that? Yeah, well, we had I cannot say it right. I'm gonna get this right. Kialohai 84 gifted, like, I want to say 30 memberships. 10, 20, yeah. No, 35 whoa, no, wait, 10, 20, 30, 40 memberships. Literally, they gifted 40 memberships. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen happen on this channel. So thank you so much. That's probably where you got it from. I don't even know what wrote copy means, and wondered if it was a weird way to say they do the copyright stuff. No, I think she had something. She drafted something. I mean, I could see it, just because, they're obsessed with her, but they're not gonna be able to make the link, and they're trying so hard, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Jed had anything at all to do with it. And that's why I think it sounds so like he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Because they ask him for like, it looks like pages about Katie Case. And I really think that like it has nothing to do with Stephanie Jones. It feels like college hazing, belittling, reminding someone of their place. Obviously, it could just be a fun photo shoot, but who knows with Ryan? Yeah, it does. It does, actually. That's a good point.
Don't look me in the face. I made a tit cake for my kid, and my bathroom has no doors. Oh my God, that bathroom burrito stuff. Okay. Rosewild says, so there was a recent filing where Esra. Okay, so I see what you're saying now. Stephanie Jones lies is reposted on Intelligence Line. What does that mean? What is Intelligence Line? Is that like the archive? Because I know it's archived. Yes, that's where your membership come. Thank you, Khaleesi. Psychologist perspective for Wayfair. This is from Kay Bella. Find a passive aggressive way to turn Ryan against Blake and then Ryan against Stephanie. Game over. I would help consult. I mean, I don't know. I think Ryan and Blake are like, I want to say trauma bonded, but it's not trauma. But it's like, when they're both like it's them against the world. I don't think that there's going to be any cracks between them. And I think they're probably going to be like, they have to stay strong in this together. Why he ended up making himself CEO of Van Zandt, I have no idea. I think that is one of the weirdest things to me of this case. I'll never let Van Zandt go, even if we don't hear anything more of it. I think there has to be something down the line. I think it's more insinuating, just like they've done with everything, how the lawyers are insinuating something, because the way they ask the questions, they're like, well, if Case said this, like, or like if Case had testified to this, what would your response be or whatever. And so that's like how they worded it. It was very strange. Rathel says, I really hope more people come forward to call Blake and especially Ryan come out. I know. But I think, with this industry, it's very, look at Fancy. I think with this industry, it's very, people are really scared of getting blacklisted. Clearly, they have a lot of power. And the fact that, like, what is Sony and WME still, like, doing on her side? I don't get it. So, anyways, did I miss anyone? Okay, so should we keep going? Oh, Rosewild says, I'm going to take a break, going to the bathroom, to the bathroom with the burrito, and don't bother. I will be back afterwards for my 9 minutes. I know. Yes, exactly. I know. She's like, I'm going to take my 10-minute break for this last 9 minutes. And they were like, can you ask a useful question? Just imagine if they put something else to replace the banana. I know. So, I mean, and I don't see anything that bad yet, but when you think of the dynamics and you think of what him and Lively are suing about, it does look really bad. And if I was Wayfair, I'd kind of be like, okay, I'm just going to save this article. Rosewild says, I need Dwayne The Rock Johnson to make a movie with a character that's supposed to be a schemer clown like Ryan. I know. I would love a psychological deep dive on him. Because I heard when kids are lighting fires, especially at a young age, that's really not a good sign. Okay. Only 9 minutes, Rosewild. Be back in 9 minutes. Okay. Let's keep going. The original Instagram posts are now gone, but survived in screenshots thanks to Joe Keery's Tumblr fan page, reposting both images shortly after they went live. One of the images was used as a thumbnail image for an interview with Keery and also shared in an article. Ooh, should we open that? What is this? Oh my God, it is. Hold on, let me share this with you. What's Netflix, Junkie? Okay. Let's go back. Share this one instead. Okay. Are we back? Okay. So let's keep going. These photos were taken during CCXP in Brazil. If you look at their shirts, it's the ones they wore on stage. They can be confirmed thanks to Reynolds' brother, Terry Reynolds, who took a photo with Carrie while wearing a CCXP badge. Based on the fact that Carrie is holding the banana next to Terry after it was peeled, but before it was eaten, Terry was probably the one to take the photos of Reynolds and Carrie after his photo was taken first. The timing of these photos only makes their impact worse. The two photos of Reynolds holding the banana to Carrie's mouth. This is like some serious like sleuthing. The Two photos of Reynolds holding a banana to Carrie's mouth were taken on the same day when Reynolds sat on Carrie's leg, said, "We'll do that after," called him delicious, and wondered if Carrie was going to dance for us. 2 days later, Reynolds mentioned Carrie's little ice cream outfit, said that he was in love with Joe, and asked if there was anything going on between them. This all happened in 2019. Even though production for Free Guy is now 6 years in the past, Reynolds continues to fixate on Carrie. During a promotional tour for Deadpool and Wolverine, Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did a scripted game skit in which they had to guess the names of their past castmates. When Joe Keery was the answer for one of the pre-planned cards, Reynolds gushed, "Oh, Joe Keery," he exclaims. "Oh, Dreamboat Joe Keery. I mean, Dreamboat." Speculation about Reynolds' sexual orientation has swirled for years, and he fuels it himself. Is that true? Is that true? There's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, and that is Ryan Reynolds' sexual orientation. Yes, he is married. Yes, that spouse is Blake Lively, a woman. But if Reynolds wanted to avoid speculation that he's actually attracted to men, he's not doing a good job of it. Indeed, the entirety of Deadpool and Wolverine feels like one elongated, overindulgent love matter to longtime friend and collaborator Hugh Jackman, with endless homoerotic tension and jokes. The only reason that Reynolds' fan base, which is mostly comprised of straight white men, is that true? The only reason that Reynolds' fan base, which is mostly comprised of straight white men, is not summarily repulsed by these jokes is that they always end in a no homo punchline. A punchline that the gay community has made it clear is puerile, banal, harmful, and unabashedly homophobic, regardless of the identity or orientation of who's making it. Oh my God. Well, we can't add homophobic to um, these like alleged racists, the plantation, Khaleesi and her husband. Yes, it's clear. 12 Gossip 90 says, yes, it's clear him gay. Is it really? I had no idea. Yep, since ScarJo marriage. Really? How did I had no idea, really? Well, what are you using these words? I don't know. I think he's like pansexual. Wow. Okay, well then I have a question for you guys since you seem to all know this. So with the way that Lively has been like perversing childbirth, because like I mean I've done my videos now on Birthgate and Pumpgate and like the way that they're like, oh, I thought that birth was porn and childbirth was porn. They want her like birthing video and all this stuff. Do you think she was ever actually pregnant? Is my question. Because like supposedly she's had 4 kids. Was she ever actually pregnant? That was my first question. That's starting to get a little tin foil hat, which is not usually what I do, but I'm just like, I just don't understand how someone could actually think childbirth is anything remotely close to porn. And if they do, I feel like something's wrong with their head and maybe they never actually had kids. That's just my question. Or, I mean, did she? And maybe they like did in future. I don't know. There's something clear. Okay. I had no idea. Wow. So people really think that. Okay, Bella says he's clearly gay. Well, and not like it matters, not like I care. But then that is weird if he does like all these, you know, I don't know. Or do you think he does that? I mean, then maybe he's not doing it for his audience if his audience is straight. It says that it's mostly straight white males. Okay, Bella says I love all my gays except RR. Well, my gaydar's broken because I had no idea. Um, she looked hella pregnant. Okay, so maybe she was. And, I mean, she could have, but I just think that that whole childbirth thing, thinking that it was corn, making a whole big deal of it, like filing sanctions, filing motion to compel, like it makes her look awful. And I just think that is a very strange thing. I would be so embarrassed if someone showed me a video of their birth and I was like, oh my God, I thought that was corn. And they're like, no, it's the, this is our baby. When we had our baby, I would be like, oh my, I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Like, like, and then I'd probably go get my head checked. Rose Wild says, I do feel like Blake flirts with her co-stars and coworkers to get attention from men to feel like someone is attracted to her. I just don't know if it's because of Ryan or because she's insecure. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Holly Level says RR was playing Let's Get It On when Blake Lively gave birth allegedly, and sexualized birth in her head. That is true. I think he like said that. That wasn't like a rumor. Like he has an interview where he said that he did that. I don't think she wanted to be pregnant and have kids and be the stay-at-home mom. I think she wanted a career more. She could be resentful or upset about it. I mean, I can't tell. It doesn't seem like she's a very like hard worker. I mean, and the fact that there was 16 days, she like took a vacation during those she called in sick during those 16 days. I mean, the amount of damage she's caused for 16 days of filming is insane to me. Christy says, "It seems he could be bisexual." This stream is gonna get demonetized. I really don't care either way. He definitely is an a-hole though. I agree. And that's my thing. I don't really care either. I really don't. Because exactly, he just seems more like an a-hole. Look at another simple favor. Look at another simple favor. I think she low-key tells on her husband and that the relationship is a beard. Huh. They do seem to be telling on themselves a lot in their movies, don't they? Especially once they try to take over. RR tells on himself about this stuff. Like it's a talk show funny story. Really? Oh my God, Christina. Oh my God, made it to the car with 1% battery. Christina, charge your phone. And drive safely. Yeah. Okay, Rathel says, yeah, Ryan said he wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom and just keep getting pregnant. I don't know why he would even think that she would be okay with that. Well, but then it seemed like wasn't he her partner in crime for taking over this film? So it seems like he wanted this to be successful for her. Or, and also maybe it was his idea to get to buy the franchise to begin with. I mean, I don't know. Holly says she made sure she was there for every single day of publicity, though. Yeah, she did, right? That's a good point. And to make sure, and she did do her media tour, but again, that was to hawk also her alcohol, even though she allegedly doesn't drink, and her hair care, and the nail polish and the coloring books. Mary says Blake is so afraid of real connection and vulnerability, so Jamie sharing an extremely intimate moment was disgusting to her. So maybe, but also, and I really hate to say it, but I honestly, we were talking about it last night towards the end of the stream. It looked like the stream was over, and then we went on for like another hour on CJ's stream, and it was with Elsie, and we were saying like she just has these undertones of racism. Like even after she was clocked for having the wedding at a slave plantation Khaleesi, um, she they then Elsie discovered that they still owned Boone Hall LLC like this year. And then the day, like within 24 hours of Elsie exposing that, they dissolved the Boone Hall LLC, which was the name of the slave plantation. So it's like, and then it seemed like all of her digs at Jamie Heath, it was just seemed there was this like underlining tone of racism. Like, because even when she said, like, will you creep me out by looking me in my eyes? Sorry, she invited him in when her tits were out when she was pumping, and he looked her in the eyes, and that made her uncomfortable. But then she admitted, I know you weren't trying to cop a look. I don't know. There's something weird there. And it seems like she's all of her claims right now seem more targeted towards him than towards Baldoni somehow. Christina says, had to, so I can say RR and Blake seem to be in a lavender marriage. Okay, that's a new word to me. Just watch the interview about It Ends With Us with the Brandon and RR, Hugh and RR's mom. That is that is so strange to me. Do you guys know what she's talking about? Where they like this is like when the marketing took over, whatever. What is this called? Maximum Effort Marketing took over. And they did that like terrible marketing where they talk about it. And I don't know. That was very strange. Okay. Christy says Christina is living the wild life with her battery. I so am. We are at a brewery and I didn't bring the battery pack in. Well, just as a side note, if you're thinking of like what's a good last minute Christmas gift to get for people at like at other places, but I got mine at Costco. They sell like the 2-pack of those like battery charges, the ones that like just you connect to your phone. And so I get those for people because we have a lot of blackouts where I live. So I'm just like, here, this is the way you can always keep your phone charged. Um, it's like a good, a good safety gift. The amount of days she worked is more than the amount of paid vacation leave I had this year. Wow. Is that true, girly? That's crazy. Okay, so I go back to the article. I just want to see what else your comment said. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh yeah, and that's girly, you're right. Now it does say that he gawked at her instead of just saying that he looked her in the eyes. Yeah, now they're trying to say, well, he gawked and it was like made her so uncomfortable. Does anyone else following the case in chat here have loved ones that look at you like you're insane about how involved we are with Blake and Blake Lively RR? I tried to explain and my hubby just says why. Yeah. You know, yesterday after I won the Jeopardy, I was like, okay, well, that's good. And then also I was like, wow, I wish I didn't know this much about this case. Like, why do I know this much about this case? I'm like, but but also like I just have a weird memory about this case when I read filings. Rose Wild, I think Blake got defensive. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, you think she got defensive about her marriage towards Justin when they discussed what they do say or do during the dance scene? Yeah, she became angry that her saying her and Ryan talk was not as good. Yeah, that I think so. Also, it just looks like she was hitting on him. Remember, she's like, "This is my love language," and like she was inviting him to hold her kid. She was inviting him on her plane. You don't just invite. Let me just tell you, when you have a private plane, you just don't invite anyone on it. You know, like it just seemed very. I think I think when he would always like when he wouldn't take the bait, I think that made her mad. That's just my allegedly in my opinion. Okay, Bella. So Blake and Ryan are both racist homophobes. Great. Well, I don't know if they're homophobes because if he's gay, I mean, how could he homophobic? How does a logical person win any argument lawsuit with these weirdos? I don't know. Hi, Lori Jane. How are you? Girl, I have to do maybe another stream to get into Aaron Spencer, or maybe I'll do it like at what we're at the 1:15 mark. So maybe at like the 1:30 mark, maybe I'll switch to Aaron Spencer because that case is so crazy and we need to talk about it. Like, and it'll help balance out this whole Blake Lively thing. But that case, for those of you that don't know, basically there was this 67-year-old pedophile or PDF file that kidnapped this 13-year-old girl. During the act of kidnapping, the dad wakes up in the middle of the night because the dog was barking, realizes she's gone. Aaron Spencer's the dad. So the mom stays home, calls 911. Aaron Spencer tracks her phone, finds them, and hits the guy's car into a ditch. And then the girl tries to escape. The guy like grabs her, and then like Aaron Spencer like charges towards him. Then he comes out, charges towards Aaron Spencer. Then Aaron Spencer unloads his weapon on him, kills the guy, offs the guy, and then pistol whips him and just to make sure. And then he gets his daughter, they go in his car, he reloads his gun, calls the cops, and is like, yo, you might want to check on this guy who has a restraining order. We had a restraining order on. He's dead on the side of the road. And he was out on, it was 43 charges against the girl. He was out on only $5,000 bail. Or sorry, it was 50, I think it was like 50,000, but he only had to pay $5,000 for these 43 charges. And we think that like he was probably going to off the daughter because that was the one witness that was about to put him away for the rest of his life. But now the DA is charging Aaron Spencer with murder, the dad who protected his daughter and did like he had no choice. What was he supposed to do? So that case is in Lonoke County, Arkansas. It's crazy. Lori Jane's the one who brought it to our attention. And now it's that judge is so corrupt and crazy. The one who let the PDF file out, she's overseeing his case, even though the Supreme Court of Arkansas told her like you probably shouldn't oversee this case. um. Anyways, so we're gonna get into that later. Okay. LOL. Mine do until I get going, telling them about why they should care. Oh, so your family, yeah. What? Well, that's the thing. I don't even care about like I didn't care about any of these people. I don't care about Hollywood, really. I don't. But this case, there's so much blatant like lies, and I hate it. And the fact that she's like using, like pretending to be a survivor and just making these claims, pretending to be SH. It's like making a mockery of actual survivors. And as a survivor, I knew that was like BS right away when I read her article, because I feel like when we've kind of learned now that when people are first going to the press to talk about SH, it seems it's always been not credible in my opinion. It's just what it turns out to be. But she's making a mockery of like the workplace. She's making a mockery of the justice system, everything they're doing. It's so bad, and it's like this roller coaster you can't get off of. And it's exposing so much. Like even the fact that Lyman has been, exposed for conflicts of interest. He had to remove himself from 14 cases in 2 years. That's a terrible record. What is he still doing? But we can't remove federal judges. So oh, they listen to your craziness. Well, that's cool. Like, that's a really good supportive family. Khaleesi tells them why they should care. I love that. At the beach, as their friends laugh when I mention it. Well, I used to update like my grandfather and his partner about this and about this case. He passed this year, but it was funny because I feel like I would tell them about it regularly, and at some point they were like, "Wait, so Blake and Ryan are two guys?" Like I had been telling them about this case regularly for months, and they thought that I was talking about two men, Blake and Ryan. I was like, "Oh my God." So it's just like nothing was landing. But I was explaining to them. As a mother of two sons, I feel for JB and how being falsely accused can affect your whole life. I have been on JB's team since day one. And yeah, and whether or not you like Candace, I thought she said the same thing. And that's kind of why she was like exposing this too in the beginning. And then, of course, she had to get involved in like whatever else she's involved in now. Like, but I wish she had stayed on this case. I was telling my husband about this and said, "What movie are you talking about?" I said, "It's real life." Oh, he thought the case was a movie. It sounds like it. I think the only thing that bothered her was him not handing over the movie. Everything else has been retro-picked from a narrative to take a company and men down. I agree. And because did I ever show this in the chat? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Hold on. Let me just go to this slide real quick for you guys because I actually have it on a slide. Yeah. So in August of 2024, there was this Brazilian interview, and I had the transcripts right here. And she's like, "Do you think you'll ever do a sequel for the movie?" And she's like, Lively says, "I mean, if Colleen has her rights, I'll go anywhere. I'll follow this woman anywhere." Why is she talking about that in August in 2024? Like, if she has the rights. So obviously they had already been talking about it back then. And then this was thanks to the chat. I think it was Lily May. I don't know if she's here, but she was the one that was like, "Look up this article about them trying to buy the movie." So I think they did. And this was the article. It says Ryan Reynolds reportedly wants to buy out Justin Baldoni from It Ends With Us at any cost. I don't know if it was at any cost because he said that he offered millions. And I want to be like, here is like Ryan is willing to offer millions to Blake's director and co-star Justin Baldoni in an attempt to buy out his stake in the franchise so Blake can continue her role without having to work with Baldoni, with whom she clashed, a source exclusively tells Life and Style. This is the biggest film Blake has ever made. Ryan wants to make sure she isn't replaced in the sequel. Well, a good way of not getting replaced at your job is to like be a good employee and not do what she did. But it said millions, and this apparently didn't they make like 200 million or like so? If you offered only millions, you were probably lowballing him. And then speaking of a united front, the reason Ryan Reynolds is fighting to cut Baldoni off is to keep Lively in the spotlight. This is the biggest film Blake has ever made. Ryan wants to make sure she isn't replaced in the sequel, the source added. Oh, I already said that, but I made it bigger there so we could all see it. Anyways, that was just because doesn't that seem weird? Doesn't that kind of give it a different twist? I wish Candace had stayed on this case too. She has way too much drama with Erica, the Macrons, Trump, Israel, and just so much drama everywhere. I don't think she covers this anymore. I know.
That's what was so funny when she was subpoenaed. I was like, her lawyers probably just told her like, get in line. We have like the president of France is after her. We have Israel is after her. Like, just get in line. We don't care about your stupid smear campaign, Blake. You have nothing to do. We don't care. Um, oh, this is a good point. Carrie Davies says her weaponizing the Me Too movement is disgusting beyond belief. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, she's weaponizing it. Abusing the legal system and destroying an innocent man's life. I am invested to see justice for Justin, and me too. And then, like, of course, when I like get into something, it's bad. I get like all the way in. I like to know everything, and so you know, one of the big things I read about was the whole Steve Sarowitz thing. And like how his family got targeted, which that story is so weird to me. I can't get over that story. Um, the way like the guy who tried to like extort them for the money was just like, you were willing to spend 100 million to destroy Blake Lively so you can give us like this 30,000 or whatever the amount was. And it's like, was this person not put up to say that? Like, did that person really read Forbes magazine to find that quote? Like, it was weird. I just don't see a lot of like, criminals like really following, a Hollywood case like this to know that Steve Sarowitz quote. And at that time, the one place that had published that first was Forbes. So I was like, this is not adding up. Rose Wild said, this cast threatens our freedom of speech, right to due process and fair trial. Yes, or this case threatens our freedom of speech, right to due process and fair trial, our rights to have our privacy not being accessed by rich people with a vendetta and many other things. Another thing is the 47.1. Because as we learned, and I pointed this out, if you don't follow me on X, I had a lot more breakdowns like on X before I started YouTube. But with the 47.1, that's not just like a crazy California thing. That's literally being shopped around. It was like in at least like another 16 states. And they were using this case to promote it, saying like why it's needed was because of this case. I was like, well, this case isn't over yet. So that doesn't seem like a very shows like how genuine your movement is. Aaron tracked his daughter's phone location. Yeah. You guys, that case is crazy. And I just think, how did Aaron know? Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. They tracked the phone location. Also, it was like the middle of the night. And I think he probably had a good idea because, he probably just was driving up towards this guy's house. I don't know. And then the dash cam was destroyed, so we don't actually know where they went that night, the dash cam footage, which probably would have helped Aaron Spencer's story. It would have like been evidence to help him that it was self-defense. Everything's crazy. Shano, Shanonis said, yes, my family thought I was crazy when I was overjoyed that Bochigo Hawks made a short over my comment. She did? She made a short with what was your comment? I want to know. I want to see that. Mary says, I think Ryan uses Blake as a beard, but also treats her a bride Barbie. She gives him the opportunity to be the wonderful husband and wants her to be praised because it reflects positivity on him. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, Shorty, Aaron is running for office. He's running for yes, he's running for sheriff, which would be so funny. Like, I mean, I hope he wins, but we have to get the word out to Lonoke County people. And this case is not getting enough coverage. It really isn't. I just think what's happening to him is so wrong. That family has been through enough. And this wasn't like a vigilante offing. Like, it was an active kidnapping. Ugh, it just makes me so mad. But it's not for everyone. So I get that. And if we want, I might close with that or I might do a different live on that. You guys have to tell me. Wait, what? SS Web says, my friend had a baby and I'm pregnant. And in a convo, we circumcision, she said her husband was. I said, SH and laughed and realized she had no clue I was joking. Because it's so diabolical. The fact that she would claim SH over that kind of conversation. Like, are you kidding me? And I don't even understand why she's in this lawsuit. That was from before she was hired. That was from 2022. I'm just like, this whole lawsuit is a mess. And I cannot believe the things I'm seeing her get away with under Lyman, but I'm glad they are bringing so many things to light. That's the thing. And if this had happened to any like other, you have to think if this happened to any other like small time like production company, I don't think this would ever see the day of light or the light of day. It's only because Wayfair has the means. They have Steve Sherowitz. They have a billionaire backer who's like, no, this is wrong. And he's willing to spend the money for it because lawsuits are so expensive. I can't even give you guys an estimate with like without my stomach hurting of how much maybe Wayfair has had to spend on this lawsuit so far, but I would say it is up in like I don't know, maybe like the 20 million, a lot of money, and we're not even at the trial. It's the high justice sensitivity. He listens and helps me regulate. Yeah. Okay, so someone says, "Is this true? Did you guys hear about Colleen having cancer?" No. She no. Um She had cancer and is fine. She posted in her Facebook group. Katie and Casey reported on it around 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago. Okay. Lori said, "Has that guy went to trial yet?" Oh, Aaron Spencer went to pretrial and it just finished. So we had 2 days. It was Wednesday and Thursday. So, and yesterday I didn't get a chance to even, I actually did make a short video, but I didn't get to post it because then more stuff came out. So I was like, I just have to do a whole live on it to cover it. But Fossler never went to trial. He was about to go to trial. And that's why they think he maybe would have offed the daughter because she was the key witness. How crazy is that? I hope we see justice for Justin. I've thought since June that Lyman is standing in the way and actively working against Wayfair for justice, like this extension and only giving Wayfair parties week to respond. Yeah. And he said something so disgusting in this ruling. Should I just pull it up? Hold on. Because he said, we have to respect third parties and WME and Sony, Lively's doing this, because they also need the extension. No, they don't. No, they don't. And since when does he care about third parties or non-parties? Was any grace given at all to the content creators? Those were non-parties that were getting dragged through the mud for no reason. They filed things on the docket asking for sanctions, asking for protective orders. He did not even acknowledge any of them. But then now, he's gonna cover for the big corporate WME and actually Cassidy made a video on it. Khaleesi, can you post Cassidy's YouTube channel in the chat? Because I want to give her credit. It was her, I think it was her last video maybe, but she made a chart about what third parties and non-parties are protected from what Lyman has done with the third parties. Is all of Lively's and Stephanie Jones, like their third parties matter, but not here is the motion. Where's the order? Oh, hold on a second. Here's the order. I just want to show you this part. Oh, hold on. It doesn't let you zoom until you're while you're sharing. Okay. It's down here. The Wayfair parties also assert that Lively's reliance on the needs of third parties is disingenuous, but each side has an obligation to protect the rights of third parties, and each side has throughout these proceedings. So he made it sound like, oh, well, because she mentioned that Sony and WME need this, they need this extension, like that's why. Like that's why he's giving it. And it's like, no, they don't. Those are like they have teams of lawyers. They don't even have enough material from anyone from Sony or WME to be redacted. They don't need an extension. That's BS, but they're not going to say anything. Oh, the Colleen Hoover thing is still up on our Facebook. You're in her private group. So is she still saying she has cancer? I mean, I'm sorry. If she does, that sucks. That's horrible. She probably shouldn't be drinking like vodka soda ice cubes or whatever it was, but I hope she gets better. 47.1 stops due process. That's what I meant earlier about, yes, it threatens. Okay, yeah, you're right, Rose Wild. It can decide the case before you have due process. I agree. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane. And we know that because the amicus brief writers, remember when one of them, she was commenting back and forth with people on LinkedIn until she realized that was not a good idea. And one of them, they were like, well, like, she's like, it doesn't matter if it, if innocent people get wrapped up in it, as long as like the guilty, as long as the guilty people, like it protects actual, or it doesn't matter if there's false claims that are protected under 47.1, as long as like all the real claims are. And it's like, no, it does matter. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem because then it can be weaponized against innocent people for when people want to get their way. And I just think, I mean, God, have you like, I feel like that there's people maybe who has worked with someone like Lively in California that could file something under 47.1 against Lively, in my opinion. And then we can see what happens. Nothing's going to happen with that law until someone turns it and flips it onto a female. Then they'll see. Then I think it could go to the legislator and get changed. I was just telling this whole table I'm with about Aaron Spencer. I won't stop spreading the story. Christina, I love you for that. Like, you're seriously a real one. Like, it's, yeah. And you also, I saw you tag Lifelong Crime on Twitter, and you've even brought it up, like, because I agree. I think like there needs to be more eyes on it because the corruption there is so blatant. And this was like such a clear act of self-defense and protecting his daughter. It was an act of kidnapping. The guy had 43 SA charges against the daughter, 43, a restraining order. And then they tried to pin that glass pipe on him, and so much bad. Their case needs more eyes. I feel guilty for being sus about it, Khaleesi, but that unfortunately doesn't stop me from being sus. Oh, about Colleen Hoover. I know. Well, I don't know. I just don't trust her. Because once you're a liar, it's hard for me to trust you. And the way that she is like, the way that she's kind of was rude to Baldoni, and now she came out and she's like, oh, this has been such a hard thing for me about what's happened with this lawsuit. I was like, for you, how about for the people who are falsely accused? Christy says, I hope so too, Wild. I can see how Justin would want to not be involved with Hollywood anymore, but I hope he still makes and stars in throughout thought-provoking movies. I think that's just his nature. I do. Lori, you're going to the trial in January? That would be amazing. And I'll have to get you in touch if you want with my source, the person who reached out to me for this is for the Aaron Spencer. They reached out to me because right now the judge is like not wanting any cameras. But because I really hope someone does file for it to be streamed. But they're going to also go to jury selection, and they gave me a lot of good notes. And they seem to like know a lot about what's going on. I haven't seen any more filing. The motion to dismiss was not granted. I know that. Okay, so I'm way behind. So she announced that Colleen Hoover announced that she had cancer on her Facebook. Need to verify the cancer story before believing it. Exactly. That is exactly what I say. I just don't trust anything out of that woman's mouth anymore. Okay, so where were we? Should we wrap up this for the Lively stuff? Do you want to do any more of that article? Do you want to see if there's like I linked the article in the description. Oh, it's talking about Gordon Reynolds. Oh my God, should we read this part? Still, Reynolds continues to dangle his potential closeted status in the public eye. In 2016, Ryan Reynolds introduced a character named Gordon Reynolds, his fictional twin. Gordon seems to be a more honest version of Reynolds, voicing his insecurity, flaws, and secrets. In a video skit, Reynolds interviews himself as Gordon. Looks like we've got two beards in the room, says Reynolds when the skit begins, referring to their physical appearance. 3, if you count my wife, says Reynolds as Gordon. Reynolds hinting at his attraction to men isn't just confined to words. From kissing Andrew Garfield during Ryan Gosling's win at the 2017 Golden Globes, to kissing Jason Bateman during a promotional interview, to kissing Henrik Lundqvist at a hockey game, to kissing Conan O'Brien in a skit recreating Ryan Gosling's kiss in The Notebook, to almost kissing Nathan Fillion on set, to nuzzling Jake Gyllenhaal's neck in an interview, Reynolds has a well-publicized history of kissing male actors and celebrities in both scripted and unscripted moments. Oh my God, are you serious? Is this real? Oh my goodness. Well, at least this one isn't on the mouth. This one, I mean, not like it matters, but if the both are consenting, but if it was a surprise kiss, I mean, oh yeah. Aside from Garfield and perhaps Fillion, who were both given advance warning, that's what I was talking about, advance warning and seemed fine with how things played out, the rest were taken by surprise. When Reynolds kissed Bateman, Bateman went along with the joke, but held up his wedding ring and mentioned his wife. When Reynolds nuzzled Gyllenhaal's neck, Gyllenhaal leaned away, laughing in surprise, and said, "Dude, I'm not Andrew Garfield." When Reynolds aggressively grabbed Lundqvist by the back of his head with one hand and his chin with the other to kiss him, he tensed up, closed his eyes, clenched his teeth in a forced smile. He was sitting with Reynolds and Alexandra Skarsgård, who also kissed Lundqvist when the camera panned to them. What is... Oh my God, Hollywood is so weird. Even O'Brien, who knew they would be kissing, seemed upset that Reynolds kissed him for way too long, clocking in around 16 whole seconds. Oh my God. Oh man, that's the longest I've ever kissed anyone, O'Brien exclaimed as they pulled apart, a grimace on his face. And guess what? He gives an empathetic thumbs up to Reynolds' direction. Not so good, ladies, not so good. Shortly before they started acting out the skit, Reynolds said, "This will be my most confusing erection of the day." Oh. Reynolds' sexually suggestive role-playing has a pattern. Ryan Reynolds' documentary with Wrexham co-owner Rob Michelini provides crucial insight into Reynolds' behavior with Joe Keery. In the documentary, okay, what's this? I'm just going to call him Rob because I can't pronounce that. In the documentary, Reynolds and Rob characterize their relationship as a bromance, engaging in multiple flirtatious exchanges with each other while simultaneously downplaying them as platonic. For instance, Rob says he'll swoon when he meets Reynolds. Later, Reynolds outright says, "God, you're handsome," when he sees Rob. An interviewer asked Reynolds, "Your friendship actually started when Rob slid into your DMs. Want to spill the tea on that one a little? Bit?" Reynolds objects. "No," he exclaims. "No, I slid into his DMs." "Oh, you slid into his DMs? Oh my God, yeah. I mean, yeah, are you kidding me? How quickly the story changes," Rob interjects. "I know," Reynolds agrees. "He DM'd me back and we kind of became digital friends, which later turned into real-life human friends. We became pretty close pretty fast," says Rob. And he says this, the video shows a picture of Reynolds embracing Rob from behind. Okay. So that's them. Okay, so they really have a whole thing called bromance. That's a screenshot, so I can't play it. Okay, but bromance isn't like a bad thing. Like, I mean, we hear bromances all the time, right? Hold on. What did Carrie say? "In my opinion, I believe they are holding something over Lyman's head, and it's not mistletoe." Oh my God. Carrie, that's so funny. Are they? I don't know. He makes a lot of money. I don't think they could blackmail him. Honestly, I don't know if you were here the whole time, but I do think that his dad, being a big time Hollywood lawyer, working with Time Warner and Warner Brothers, and, you know, and then, Lyman did work for his dad's firm for a little bit. Not saying he worked on any of the Hollywood, clients, but it looked like that was the majority of his clients. I feel like Lyman has this, like, hierarchy type of view of the world where he wants to protect, you know, the rich and the Hollywood, the like, and the machine. That's just, and you can kind of just see it, like the way that he was like, oh, we have to protect Sony and WME, these third parties. God, you know, like they're going to need an extension when the content creators who don't have teams of lawyers, you know, at their beck and call, you know, I mean, there was some creators that had to like, one of them had to like, you know, I think take out maybe I think it was a mortgage against their house or something. I mean, this was like it was a big thing for those content creators. Lyman didn't give two fucks, two F's about it. Oh, Cassie was pissed about that statement. Oh yeah, was she? Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she was because she was one of the people targeted. And it was not cheap. I remember when she was getting quotes just to fight her subpoena, and it was like a lot of money until they all decided to kind of do it on their own. Thank goodness. And they were dropped every time they fought back. Lori says, I wish I knew how to send something to Lyman to complain. I know. Well, actually, someone did post that his chambers like emails on one of my last X posts, and I was like, I can't write anything to him because I wouldn't be able to do so respectfully because I have no respect for him. So it's better I just keep my mouth shut. I think when Justin wouldn't sell the movie rights to Ryan, it made Ryan's wiener feel small. So here we are. So that's why I showed that was because I think you're right. And I think if you look at those dates, like I think they have been trying to, you know, before that, you know, kind of tried to buy the movie and then or get him to walk away and kind of threaten him. And he just wouldn't budge. And then they got really mad. And so then they just went full force. And it was the chat. Like, remember, you guys were the ones who said we've never seen the morality clause because a lot of people were like, well, what about the morality clause? And we're like, we've never actually seen one. If we've seen one, they wouldn't have had to offer the money, all that money, the millions of dollars, right? But this whole lawsuit was not the right way to do it. She should have literally spent like, she could have spent like $100,000, donated it to a local, she's in New York. The animal shelters there, I follow them. Like I hate seeing it on my feed, but they are having to put animals to sleep every single day at these shelters in New York. She could have given them $100,000 for resources. It would have totally changed her image. No one would have remembered anything about It Ends With Us or anything. Her ugly outfits, her terrible campaigning, her tone deaf like nail polish and coloring books. They would have been like, oh my God, that's awesome. She's helping these animals. And that's all she would have had to do and then move on with her life. But no, they are here looking like morons, and everyone that comes in contact with them is looking like morons. Everyone who's all their lawyers, I mean, they look terrible. I want my 9 minutes. Terrible. Bochi did email the judge about the redactions. Yeah, I thought that was a really well written, like very that was very well written what she sent. Because what she was saying was that she's been following the case for a long time, and she like, you know, mentioned how he said, you know, the reason for the redactions before the ruling on this is so the public has, you know, there's transparency with the public of the court's ruling. So they have time to be able to read this because at this rate, their hearing is January 22nd. We're probably not going to see these with enough time before that hearing to like read everything that's redacted. So it's just, it's, I don't know, it's a mess. Ryan wanted to have complete power over Justin in every way. Justin refusing to sell him those rights was a huge blow to his ego. I agree. Oh, she didn't need chemo. Colleen didn't need chemo, so it sounds like it was caught earlier. Well, that's good. Go to your checkups. Make sure, you know, if you can catch things early, it's a lot better. The way she read it, she had a cancerous mole or something removed. Oh, okay. Well, still, yeah. Yeah. We definitely want to get those checked. That could be really dangerous. The Diet Pepsi ice cubes. I don't think there was just Pepsi in there, Christy. Yeah, Christina says, I'm very happy it wasn't worse for her. Me too. And I mean, even a mole can be like super scary, honestly. So it's good to get all of that checked. Wow, I got really behind. There is no morality clause. I agree, Michelle. No morality clause. And I don't think I had thought there was before. I had just assumed there was because it's Hollywood and most of the films now do, but this was a book rights deal. And I don't think there was because otherwise they wouldn't have had to offer money to buy the rights. Wish Colleen would have let Wayfair Parties do the documentary on the filming. I know. Seriously. So she was the reason they didn't? Because they were, yeah, I remember that they were supposed to be doing that. But, I don't, does anyone know what the earliest date is that they clocked Lively's behavior? Because it seems like they were recording on set even when they weren't recording, if you know what I mean. Like the fact that they like immediately right after she made all those lies about the dance scene, they were like, well, we got it on camera with the audio. Makes me think that like, I mean, only 16 days. How long do you think her days were? Probably no more than 8 hours, right? God forbid she had to work a long day. I can't do that math, but I think they were probably had the camera running the whole time she was on set. The remark about Christmas made me so mad. What remark about Christmas? Oh, exactly, Michelle, and that's what we're saying. If there was a morality clause, Blake would be all over it by now. And maybe they thought originally there was, and then they realized there wasn't. And so then they offered the money, and then he refused the money, and they're like, "Well, we'll just ruin him. We'll just totally ruin him so he can never work in Hollywood again. No one would ever work with him again. We'll just make him be a pervert. We'll tell WME. We'll get him dropped from his agent, and we will." Like Khaleesi says, "Sorry to get chatty." Am I being too chatty? Oh, sorry, we get chatty. No, it's good. I love the chat, you guys. The chat is what drives the stream. Well, today it is. Usually I have a plan, but today was kind of like not a plan. If there was so I think they were just going to ruin him so that no one would work with him again, and then maybe they would have sold it, But and the fact that they said he offered millions, I was like, they should have offered like hundreds of millions because this movie I think it made at least like 400 million or something, right? Oh, Stephanie Jones filed her lawsuit on Christmas Eve and Blake filed her lawsuit on New Year's Eve. So they don't care about the holidays. Yep. It's a pretty shitty thing to do. Not to ruin Christmas this year for everyone. She didn't care last year. Would it be? I know. I think it was the 2 days of complaints around the bar scene time. That was the earliest. Yeah. So, and then I think maybe they thought there was, and then there wasn't. And then they tried to buy. I just don't think they would have tried to buy it if there actually was. And I don't think there was. I think we would have seen it by now. I don't know. But I think that, it's getting towards the end for Lively and they're panicking. The way that the fact that I still can't believe Ezra filed that Lively filed that transcript that makes them look terrible. Hi, April, love. How are you? Happy Saturday. Michelle says, I think Blake thought there was when she did that interview with Colleen where they talked about getting the rights for a second. That was August. Yeah. Did you see? I put that slide. Yeah. Earlier. Yeah. So that was August. And then the other article I saw from Ryan was October. But they had to have been by known that there wasn't, I think. Who knows, honestly. Because, yeah, then the Van Sham was September 27th. And then the lawsuit. Kenny says, I'm glad they're still spending millions and they don't get the franchise or to get to win the lawsuit. I know. And that's the bottom line for me, honestly, is at the end of the day, this is in New York. Okay. I worked in New York for a little bit, by the way. And I worked for a company that was owned by Disney at the time. Okay. And I just want to say what happened with Lively is nothing. Like I had a boss that I was the only girl in my department that was like, oh, you're the female. Like you can do all my bookkeeping or can you clean my office since you're the female? And like, so you're the one I think that can clean, like just bizarre, like crazy stuff. But I was like, whatever, like, I'm just like, he's just an idiot. I have to help this idiot out. But I'm just saying, these are just examples of, you know, like in New York, people who have real jobs, everyday jobs, they're not going to entertain her claims of harassment for 1 second. She saw a second of a birth video. Someone looked her in the eyes. There was toxic positivity. What else? Oh, they called her pants sexy. You walk down the street in New York and you can get whistled at and be like, "Hey, sexy." Like it's they are going to be so mad that they have to waste their time, you know, and get paid minimum, whatever the minimum jury payment is in New York, to listen to her complaints. If I were JB, I would sell the rights to someone with the stipulation they couldn't work with Sony, Blake Lively, or Colleen Hoover. I want him free of this entity. I know. And I was talking with someone who told me that, like, you know, he had spent so much time on this film, researching the film, you know, connecting with the DV, the whole all the issues surrounding the film, because they really, you know, with Wayfair, they wanted to make movies for good. That was the whole point of the studio. They wanted to make movies that changed the world. And so he really like invested so much. It was like, you know, it's like having like, it's basically like a child almost. And so it felt so precious to him. Like he didn't want to just sell it to these like monsters, you know? Um, but at this point, you know, I think he could sell it to get to maybe recoup some of the money that they've lost on this lawsuit. And I do like that idea you have that maybe they could put that kind of stipulation in. Hey, Deborah, I know you from CJ's chat. How are you? I'm glad you found us too. I know we've been going on forever, really. I'll probably end it soon unless anyone wants to stay behind and do Aaron Spencer. If you do want to do Aaron Spencer tonight, then put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, I can go on tomorrow and maybe do a true crime thing tomorrow. They could have bought a country with all the money they spent. That's so sad. They could have. They thought they could bully. I agree. Culture of hugging. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. One of the worst one of the worst examples of harassment. Culture of hugging, both men and women. Way too many hugs. You know, and I can't give you guys all a hug, but if you could like the chat, like the stream, that would be equivalent of a hug. You know, if you support hugs. Bochi's water birth emoji is cute. She has a water birth emoji. Wow, I have to see that. I haven't seen that. Blake isn't used to hugging Ryan. I know. Someone said at DFJ, it's nice to hear your voice. Oh, thank you. Okay, I have a lot of ones in the chat. Does that mean you guys so you do want to do Aaron Spencer? Okay, so this is I have to get those slides. So it's going to be like a 1 minute, like sidetrack, you know, break. Go fill up your waters, or your wine or whatever. I'm going to switch to Aaron Spencer now. This is a trigger warning. So this is we're switching to true crime. Honestly, I think that the true crime and murders is less diabolical than what is happening with the Lively trial, but that's, you know, different story for a different time. So this is it's about like, again, if you didn't hear the recap before, it is based, I will play real quick what the case is about. I'm going to play the 3-minute thing real quick, and then I will transition into Aaron Spencer. How's that? So to anyone who's leaving, thank you for stopping by. It was good to see everyone. This article is linked in the description if you want to finish it. It seems really crazy, really crazy. And it was good to see everyone. I'm going to play that real quick, and then we're going to get into Aaron Spencer, okay? So let me find the 3-minute recap for the transition. I'm also going to put it in the chat. Hold on. This case is crazy, really. And then I think I have to pin it. So after I typed it, pin message. Okay. And let me get, oh, I don't know if I can play YouTube while I have StreamYard up. Maybe, let's see. Or, you know, hold on, I might actually have it downloaded. Oh, I can play okay. Okay, yeah, this one. This case is crazy. 42 felony child SA charges, and he gets out. He basically only had to pay $5,000. They were terrified that Fossler would not only SA their child, but that he would kill her or disappear with her, knowing that she was the critical witness to crimes that would put him in prison for the rest of his life. He went out and he went and tracked down his daughter, saw she was in imminent danger, tracked the car down, got in a fight with Fossler, and loaded his weapon on him, pistol whipped him, told the police that, maybe they want to come check on him because he's dead on the side of the road. The judge overseeing this case is the same judge who released Michael Fossler to begin with. So no wonder she wanted to seal this entire case, because this was all her doing. He called her out. He said public officials aren't immune from public criticism, judges and prosecutors included. But the sweeping order is only part of the troubling pattern of attempts to shield this case from public view, beginning with a non-public arraignment and ending with a handwritten note sealing the entire case from public view. We cannot allow that pattern to continue unchecked. So I would invoke this court's superintending authority and reassign this matter to a new circuit judge. Okay, so you guys, this was in May. Okay, and the same judge is still overseeing this case, and the Supreme Court told her, like, hey girl, get off this case. Like, you've already done enough damage, and you made this arraignment secretive, and then you did a handwritten order to seal the entire case without anyone asking for it. Like, what are you doing? When they arrested Spencer at the scene, okay, they put him into the cop car. And when he was in the cop car, he's like, hey guys, there's this glass pipe on the floor of your car, by the way. Like, that's not mine, but I just wanted to let you know I can see it, and you should probably do something with that. And so then they tried to pin it on him. You guys probably should have cleaned your car out before you go around arresting people. That's probably evidence for one of your other cases you effed up, you idiots. It was so absurd. And then they finally, after the DNA test, they had to admit that, his DNA wasn't on that, so we won't bring that up. So now we're going to talk about jury nullification. It reflects the jury's belief that the law itself is unjust, the punishment is too harsh, or applying the law in that specific case would result in an unfair outcome. You know what the DA is saying? I mean, I can't believe I have to say this, but the DA is saying that, he could have just waited for 911, but the mom was home and she called 911. So they did call 911, but even then, look who got there first, the dad. I feel like they should have just given him a box of ammunition and been like, sorry for all those bullets you had to waste taking out the trash. Okay, so that is we are now transitioning into Aaron Spencer and a true crime, which is perfect for nighttime. Oh, are you guys puff passing in the chat? Oh my God. Okay. Well, no, so his bail was set at, I think his bail was set at 50,000, but he only had to pay 5,000, which is still low to me for 43. Let me get my slides up. Hold on. For 43 SA charges. It's just crazy to me. I honestly, I cannot understand any of this. So, and I made one more video. I'm going to share this. Hold on. See all, present. Okay, present this slide. I made one more recap video. So I made a video on what happened on day 2. So with day 1, remember, let me go back to those slides. It's not letting me share this. Why? Oh, I have to go back to StreamYard. Hold on. One second, please. Okay. Yeah, because so I made a video on what happened the first part of day 2, but if you don't remember day 1, so day 1, basically they basically threw out everything, and they said that they can't bring up the SA, they can't bring up the 43 charges against Fossler because they were saying that since he's dead, oh, it's not sharing. Hold on. It is sharing. It's not sharing. Hold on. Okay, add to stage. You guys are being so funny. Another shady judge. I know, Kenny, seriously. Isn't he a military vet? That's such a good point, Deborah. Yes, he is a military vet. So he was trained in combat. So he knew about the situation. Honestly, I mean, he reacted so fast. Like, I don't know. Like, if I had seen someone, you know, even if someone drove off with like my pet, like or something, and I went after them, I don't know if I would have been able to do what he did. I mean, it was like it seemed very like very trained. He was able to like get this guy off the road, you know, he was able to like to eliminate the threat without hurting his daughter. He saved his daughter. He called the cops. He's like, he got there before the cops. He was like, you guys should probably do something about this. So I don't know. My best friend's dad growing up was a judge. He liked snow and smoked. Oh, he liked snow and smoked grass. Judges are more wild than you think. What that's really funny. So I do have a family member who is a retired judge. And so, because I remember there was someone had commented on one of my X threads saying like, "Oh, judges don't talk to each other." Because I had said something like, "Oh, I bet like the Nevada judge for Perez Hilton had, you know, mentioned that he used to clerk for this judge that's still in SDNY when he would talk to Lyman on the phone." And they're like, "Judges don't talk like that." And I was like, I've been to dinners with judges. I've seen how they talk. They do talk like that. They do know who everyone is. And retired and not retired, it's all the same. So just saying. But my relative did not do this the snow or grass. But I do like that. Okay, snore out loud again. Family thinks I'm crazy. Okay. You guys are so funny. So, okay. So basically what happened after day 1? Oh, there was something else interesting. So let me go to those slides right here. So, again, this is our cast of characters. We have Aaron Spencer, Judge Barbara Elmore. She's the one who released him on the low bail, the low bond. And now she's overseeing his case for murdering him. Does that make sense? And that wasn't murder, sorry. But he eliminated him because he was a threat to his daughter. I mean, he shouldn't. Michael Fossler had a restraining order. What was he doing with her in the car? This was about day 2, but I had another thing. Okay, this was for day 1. So I thought this was interesting. So it says, okay, we saw that part. Okay, expert child exploitation, grooming witnesses is being excluded because Judge Elmore said child grooming in SA is not relevant to this case. The defense can't bring up Fossler's prior history, can't talk about his grooming and pedo tendencies if Spencer didn't know prior to the incident or if it's outside his community. I believe most, if not all, motions by the defense were denied, while most, if not all, the motions by the prosecution were approved. This is what I thought was funny. Elmore evidently had a few meltdowns. She kicked an attorney out for being on her phone and made everyone go out to be researched after someone showed her a Facebook post that had been made about the case. And that they were going, okay, so that was the end of day 1. So I have a video to start about day 2 that I had already made, but I hadn't posted yet because then more things came out about day 2. So let me first play that. I have to remove this. Hold on. Video file. Aha, day 2. This is only 5 minutes. Uh-oh. Okay, today was day 2 of the pretrial hearing. And yesterday, after I made my video, we did have 2 outlets report on the case. So I'll be linking those. Well, I link them in the description of the other video, but I'll also link them here. And we'll probably still have other updates coming in later today. Today's been an absolute bananas, crazy day in the media, but we're not talking about any of that. We're going to talk about Aaron Spencer pretrial day 2. So let's get right into it. First off, I want to say I was reading, more of the comments and whatnot on Facebook, and it appears, there's a lot of good intentions. A lot of people are saying, sending their thoughts and prayers, but I just want you all to know Aaron Spencer is going to need a lot more than just your thoughts and prayers, okay? Your thoughts and prayers are wonderful, but it's not going to keep him out of prison. He needs you to spread the word, and he needs you to show up, okay? January 26th, I will also be putting that in the description. January 26th is supposed to be day 1 of the trial, depending on how jury selection goes. Let's keep going. Here's the cast of characters again. I am not going to repeat this case again. Wait, let me see. Maybe I can just go through these slides. Oh yeah, so I'm going to read this. I can go through this with you guys. Yeah, because I have this on the slides. So let me just go through this with you guys here. So that was true, because on the Facebook, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, thoughts and prayers. And I was like, he's going to need a lot more than your thoughts and prayers. And which is really, and they do seem very appreciative of them, but it's just like, we need people to spread the word. So thank you for being here. Let's talk about what happened on day, where did that go? Let's talk about what happened on day 2. Okay. So this says, yes, I was there this morning. The defense put on witnesses to discuss the missing dash cam video from Fossler's vehicle. Apparently, Detective McCain waited until the tow truck was on scene before obtaining the camera, ripping it out of the truck, breaking the mount, failed to take photos or document its configuration at the time of seizure, couldn't remember much about it, and was like pulling teeth to get him to acknowledge the possible significance of the camera, failed to log it into evidence. It failed to log it until the evidence was returned from the Attorney General after they were unable to locate the data card. So the camera was never logged into evidence until October 2025, a full year after it was collected. And it was stored in the detective's office on a shelf for a month before it was sent to the AG. The detective claimed he accessed the card and watched part of the videos that were on it, said there was nothing but blue and red flashing lights. On the stand, he said he only watched part of the video, but told his supervisor that he had reviewed all of it. The detective claimed that the videos that were on the card were 15 minutes long. The defense put on an expert witness that testified that the camera only made videos in 1, 3, or 5 minute lengths, depending upon the settings. The defense called 3 witnesses from the sheriff's office that all stumbled on their own words, all contradicting each other. The defense asked for a dismissal or at least an instruction from the jury. The judge didn't give her decision today and won't until after the first of the year. Voir has changed as well, with less restrictions on the selection process. The judge had to cancel her appointment this afternoon, and she sure let everyone know about it, but it ran until 1:30 because originally it was supposed to go from 8 a.m. to 10:30. She's like, we have a hard stop at 10:30. And then she complained. This woman complained that it went until 1:30 and made everyone know about it. It's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but Aaron Spencer, his freedom, his life is on the line. So I'm sorry about your stupid appointment. Maybe you shouldn't have scheduled your appointment when you had a pretrial hearing for someone for murder, for a murder charge. Maybe you should have just rescheduled it like an adult. Like, I don't know, but you're going to let everyone know, like, whatever. Give everyone a hard time, like that you had to be out by a certain time, whatever. I cannot stand this woman. She has no right being a judge. But let's keep going. So here was the order about the preservation. So she signed they have to preserve the dash camera now, but it's too late. I mean, the fact that they clocked it in a year later, I mean, oh my God. Oh, we saw that one. Wait. Yeah, okay. The detectives also couldn't explain why they instructed all deputies present to turn off their body cams, even though that goes against policy and procedures. They just really didn't have an explanation other than that's normal. So that's crazy, don't you think? Because the state is allowed to use the body cam of when they first went to Aaron Spencer's house and about the SA, when he had first heard about it. And he tried to he told the girlfriend of the, oh, hey, Khaleesi. She said, is that normal? No, it's not normal at all. because they're using the body cam where he said that he basically just said, I, bullshit that like we can't take justice into our own hands for cases like this. And they said they're using that to say that he had intent to off Fossler, which that's not true. So they're using the body cam from when he first, spoke with Spencer, when he had first learned about what happened to his daughter. And he was like at the most vulnerable state, so emotional, so enraged. He basically was like, what are you guys going to do? Like the justice system, he's just going to go to jail for a few years and come back out and continue effing kids. But then the cops, after like 7 minutes, they calmed him down. Then they did their investigation and, everything went as it was supposed to. So they're allowed to use that. But then when they reported to the scene of a murder, alleged murder, sorry, where they offed him, where, Spencer's like, hey, this PDF file is dead on the side of the road. You might want to come check on him. That body cam footage was all turned off, all of it, and the dash cam. And then they even messed up the dash cam of the car of Michael Fossler. So they can't even see where his daughter was or what happened when Aaron Spencer like hit him off the side of the road. Lori says, do we know what judge on Arkansas Supreme Court said that she should remove herself? We do. Let me get it. That is a good question. It's one of my slides. Nicholas Brawny, Justice Nicholas Brawny. He said, I had invoked this court's superintending authority and reassigned this matter to a new circuit judge. This is when they reversed the unconstitutional gag order that she put on this case. Pretty crazy, right? I have more updates. Hold on. Because then, I'm going to pull this up for you. She denied his motion to dismiss because he's basically like, this investigation was terrible, like absolutely terrible. Let me share this tab instead. Make sure you can see it. Yeah. They're like, there's spoliation of evidence. They, with the dash cam, they didn't have their body cams on. They didn't follow any protocol. They didn't even log this evidence until a year later. And then they lost the SD card, and then they tried to pin this glass pipe on him that after they did the drug and DNA test, they're like, okay, I guess we can't bring that up. So many things went wrong in this case. And I think she should have granted the motion to dismiss. And instead she denied it. Barbara Elmore is a gem, but she probably should have granted it, in my opinion, because of all this, complete lack of like due process. They're allowing the cell. I don't know why. They're allowing this cell site evidence about cell site location. And apparently because the state is using this really outdated method instead of like a current method, not like it really matters, but I guess to try to say like where Aaron Spencer was. And maybe I think they're going to try to say he like left the house before 911 was called or something. So stupid. Whatever. But the problem is like, they're not letting him they're not letting him even mention anything about the 43 charges because they're saying they were dismissed because the guy's dead. So that seems like a problem to me. Let me pull up my X real quick because I had this other quote from one of the articles I thought was really good. Right here. And make sure you see this. Okay. I said, okay, so after I made my video, we had one outlet. So there's two outlets that have mentioned this case. And so one is this KATV News, and then there's one other one, this one, THV11. Those are the only two I've seen cover this. And but they had this one quote from Aaron Spencer's attorney where he says, for the state to try to say that child SA has no place in this case, or there's no S charge, it defies common sense. It could not be more relevant. It explains why the young lady was with him on that night, despite having been serially SA'd by him for months. And I just don't understand how we can ignore that part, this issue, that is why he was in danger. She was in danger. And
And then there was more, so let me go back. I'm going to go back to this article. There's 2 articles. Okay, so this one. So it says, judge allows trial to move forward for Aaron Spencer in Lonoke County murder case. A judge has cleared the way for a high profile, who else is talking about it? I feel like no one's talking about it. It's literally crickets. High profile murder case to proceed, one involving a man seeking to top law enforcement's job in Lonoke County. Yeah, he's running for sheriff. Good for him, as he should. So it says, a judge has cleared the way for high-profile murder case to proceed, one involving a man seeking the top law enforcement job in Lonoke County. In a pair of rulings issued Friday, Circuit Judge Barbara Elmore denied a request to dismiss the case against sheriff's candidate Aaron Spencer and ruled the prosecutors may rely on cell phone location data at trial. Spencer is charged with second-degree murder in the 2024 shooting death of Michael Fossler. Court records state that the shooting happened after Spencer saw Fossler driving his daughter. At the time, Fossler had been released on bond after being accused of raping Spencer's underage daughter earlier that summer. Spencer's defense argued the charges should be thrown out because the case was not presented to a grand jury, citing Fifth Amendment protections. Spencer's attorney, Aaron Castanelli, released the following statement on the case. We're pleased that the court limited the agent's jury presentation to what is consistent with the technology as we requested. The issues for the jury are clear, and there's no place for confusing information that only burden the jury. In a brief written order, Judge Elmore rejected that claim, emphasizing Arkansas law allows prosecutors to bring charges through a filed information. The judge also addressed disputed evidence, siding with the state on the use of cell tower and cell site location records while drawing a line excluding aerial images. Yeah, because the aerial images, it's not an exact technology. There's more advanced technology. Anyways, the decision's following a pretrial hearing earlier this week as the case continues toward trial, estimated to begin January 26th. So my main thing is we just have to keep spreading the word. There's one more article. Let me just make sure I get that. See if there's anything new in it. Where? TH11. Did you not do anything else? I guess I didn't do one. Okay. Well, there's more. So we're going to keep it on that slide. Hold on. Because I have more notes here. So we have someone who's in the courtroom who messaged me and gave me some great information and said I could share it, and just said that they're a reliable source in the courtroom. They said that they plan to be there every day next month when the trial starts. That voir dire is going to be some sight to see. Lori, you should maybe go to voir dire. When they ask the questions during jury selection. Initially, the judge wanted to have the defense to question 4 jurors at a time and make their selections after each group. Typically, you see at least 12 at a time to make exclusions based on a larger group. They spoke about it a bit more today. The judge is being very evasive about it. Had an opportunity today to shake Aaron's hand and thank him for his military service and again for his service to the community by taking out the trash. We had a brief discussion while the court was in recess, just a family man trying to protect his family. He said Fossler was on his way taking her back to the house after essaying her at his home. Turns out, after he was released, he assaulted her 3 other times before that night. The judge is excluding an expert witness from testifying about child grooming because the victim, in quotes, isn't on trial anymore. And I said, will they be allowed to mention the stay away order? Gosh, what a monster. They said they are trying to prevent the defense from revealing any bad acts, but hopefully they'll be able to work around it. He said we just have to keep posting about it so there's no chance of possible jurors not knowing about it. The issue for the prosecution is the minor child is a witness. How can they explain that she was in the 67-year-old's vehicle at 1:30 in the morning?
Reminder, or he's 67, she's 13. Somebody's got some explaining to do. And then I said, the problem is that the state is trying to paint this as not a kidnapping, that she went willingly. I said, well, it's still wrong. And if they want to say that, in my opinion, that opens the door for why she went willingly. It's called grooming. And also, like, why is a 67-year-old man having a 13-year-old girl in his car in the middle of the night? It says, but they excluded a defense expert witness that was going to testify on grooming. The judge specifically stated no evidence of grooming will be allowed. She basically stated that they will just have to work around it one step at a time. Just like a 13-year-old cannot consent to SA or to sex with an adult, she cannot consent to sneaking out of the house at his temptations. There was talk today of the massive amount of electronic storage devices discovered at Fossler's house that was sent to the AG but will never see the light of day. The defense was making a point that Fossler was very tech savvy concerning SD cards. So, God, like something's probably on camera or something. And can she bring up the reason why she was with him? I said, that's what I want to know. I mean, hey, Lottie of Wales, how are you? We started off with It Ends With Us, and now we're talking about Aaron Spencer. So, just want to make sure. Yeah, because I think I did see you comment on the Aaron Spencer. So I think you are here for that, which is good to know. You live in Louisiana, on the Louisiana-Arkansas line? No way. Really? I asked Emily Lawnard, oh yeah, Emily Baker, to cover it. She said she will. Really? If Emily Baker covers this, that would be amazing. And her network is ginormous. I mean, she has followers in every single city, probably in this entire country. So she could probably definitely get law nerds in there. Wow, that would be so cool. Good job, Lori. So a lot of people there are talking about, so you heard about this before today, Deborah? Christy says, question, do we have a public defender or good attorney? He has a good attorney. That's a really good point. I need to link he has a GoFundMe. So he had a lot of people donate and was able to hire a good attorney. But I'm going to link it because like there's not over yet. And this, I think that this is often what happens when you have like you're against the state is they will try to outspend you and they will file motions and whatever, like they did with the glass pipe thing to try to like make you just fold and agree to like settle or whatever, or like plead to us, plead to something, but he can't here. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. They're wasting taxpayer dollars on this. And I want everyone to know about jury nullification. You can say not guilty, and they won't tell you that in court. And the judge will give very, very strict instructions to say, can you follow the law? This is the law. This is the jury instructions. If this, then this. Like, if you believe he did this, you have to say guilty on this. Like, that's all they're going to tell you. But the jury can decide to altogether to not convict because they don't think it's right. In this case, the law should not be applied. Though, it's not being applied correctly in this case, and I don't think it is. They didn't read him his Miranda rights on the initial footage. Huh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Is that something did I read that somewhere, or did you hear that somewhere? The body cam footage should be thrown out since he was not a suspect at that moment that was filmed. Oh, so you're saying because his Miranda rights weren't read in that conversation. Yeah, well, he wasn't a suspect, but they're using that. I don't know why they're allowed to use that. And if you're new and you don't remember what it was, they basically came to his house because this is crazy, but the girlfriend of Fossler was a family friend of the daughter, a family friend of the Spencers. So, and the girlfriend gave Spencer the daughter's number. So when Spencer finally found out about this, he first went to the girlfriend and was like, where is Spencer? I want to know where he lives. This is what's alleged. What the hell? I want information. I mean, And then someone she told is a mandatory reporter because she's like told someone like, well, they're saying this about my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And that person was a mandatory reporter and called the cops. And I think they also try to make it seem like Spencer was gonna go like kill this guy, which was not the case. Spencer was at home. The cops came. Spencer was really mad. He had just found out about what happened. And he's like, and they told him, don't do anything stupid. Like, and he was mad, but then he didn't do anything stupid. He literally cooperated. They went to the station, they did the interview. The daughter did the interview. They got him on 43 charges. And even after he was let out on January 11th, Spencer didn't do anything. Spencer did not do anything until October 11th when the dog barked, woke him up. They realized she was not in her bed and they panicked. And then the mom was calling people and he tracked her phone and then went to go find her and then realized he was in the car with her. They also found out that he had ordered like food or something for her and her cousin. Fossler did. They saw like I don't know if it was like a Venmo or something, but they saw it posted. And then I think her cousin or something admitted that she had seen it, that they had talked, even despite the restraining order. He needs Alan Jackson. Alan Jackson's a fortune, but this would be such a good case. But I feel like his lawyers are competent. The problem is this judge is terrible. But I think that would help. He needs something. He didn't do anything until that evil man took his daughter, right? And you have to think like, his daughter was in that car. And like if someone had taken your kid, someone took like even if someone took my pet, they were driving off. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably do the same thing. I don't know if I'd be as accurate as he was. And I love the fact that he pistol whipped him after just to make sure he was gone. Cabot is about 2.5 hours from Texarkana. The other thing that this case really, I think, is it's important that there's more eyes on this case because what I think happens that now that I've covered a lot of the cases similar, like the Cain Velasquez one and whatnot, it's like, yeah, the child, there's definitely the child that's the victim, right? But the family is also a victim. And it's like these fathers, that's their primal instinct is to protect their child. And I feel like it puts some sort of PTSD on them because like, this goes like back to like our, when we were like, you know, before the world was as complicated as it was, even you look at Mother Nature, the way animals act to protect their kid, to protect their children, if there's any sort of predator, how primal that is. That's how we are as humans. And so if the worst thing possible happened to your kid and you weren't able to protect them, and then that, you see that predator, like I feel like something like happens in their brain where they, have to react. That's what I've seen happen in some of these other cases. Like I think what that is almost like a temporary insanity, but I don't even want to say it's insanity because I think it's actually pretty normal. But it almost is like a temporary blackout moment. That's what I think happened with Cain Velasquez. That's what I think happened with Gary Plauché, as I say his name. I've seen other cases of this, but this is even more, but this isn't even that like that. This was an act of kidnapping. So someone said, Shanonos said, Alan Jackson is busy with Nick Reiner. He is. He is. I bet his fees now are like astronomical too. He is busy with him, but this case is happening so soon. But this case is not that hard to catch up on because let me share this. I will link this below. Actually, I could put it in the chat right now. Hold on. Let me give you the link to the case files. There's really not that many. It's like, and after reading like the Blake Lively ones, like when you read some of these, they're like pretty like simple. Like they're pretty short, like they're all pretty short. Look, this was all violations, like failure to photograph, measure, document the dash cam, improper removal, causing damage to the dash. I mean, this case should have been thrown out. This is just crazy to me. Oh, I wasn't sharing the tab. There's the tab. Let me go back to this one though. But yeah, all these are public. You could just read them. They even changed the courtroom security so that it's not the sheriff's office. It's someone else. Oh yeah, and then I remember because I I wasn't able to find it last time, but I know where it is now. It's June 20th, I want to say. Is you can go to that one, this one, the mandate. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Oh, fuck. Okay, here. The mandate. Here's this one is 34 pages. So this was the mandate where the Supreme Court of Arkansas reversed the gag order. But this is the long one, because the one on the Justia site is a abbreviated version. This one you can actually see all of the consenting, dissenting, you know, from all the different judges. So this is a good one to read. The thing with these links, you have to just go to the main one. These links expire. So, or they cache or something. So like if I was to share this link with you, it'd be a dead link. So you have to go this one right here. This one works, the main one, but for each filing, you have to go to on your own. Just FYI. I'll share it again. I would have no problem and no guilt if I was that dad. I hope he doesn't. The only thing that sucks is like, this is when the daughter needs him the most and he might go to jail, like we saw with the Cain Velasquez, which was so devastating. He's still in jail. And I said it wrong last time. I said Cain was only sentenced a year. It was 5 years. But because he had gotten credit for like 2.5 years, and they said he would probably get good behavior, it'd probably only be another year. So that's how I got the year. Raffle says I'd gladly go to prison for protecting my kid, full stop. And that's what I'm saying is like, he had broken the restraining order and his trial was coming up. I do think at some point he would have offed her. So that could have easily been then. A dad every daughter deserves. I agree. If I was on jury, it would be a hung jury if they wanted to convict him. And that's what I'm thinking too. I feel like we could get a hung jury if people don't want to just straight up do not guilty. But that's only if they have, I think, a pedo on the jury. That's just like, well, whatever. This is normal. Oh, that was me. DFJ, do you happen to know if this is an area like where Karen Reed was, where if a hung jury, they can try you over and over forever, or is it over if it's hung? So oh, I see. No, I think that they would be able to, because even if this is criminal. Was hers, yeah, hers was criminal too, right? Yeah, hers was criminal. Huh. I think they would be able to try him again. I don't know if they still would, but I think they would be able to. So yeah, I think that's why we're trying to go with the jury nullification. I just want every single person in that county who could be a juror to know what jury nullification is. You have a right to say not guilty. But if there is someone on the jury, because if somehow doesn't know all the facts about this case, they're making it the way that it is right now. It's going to be presented that like Michael Foster was an innocent man. They're not allowed to bring up any of his charges. So right now they're going to say it's this innocent man that Aaron Spencer offed. But I don't know how they're going to get around I think even like a person who doesn't know anything about this case is still going to be like, why the fuck was his daughter in the car at 1:30 in the morning? Blake's are all PR stunt, yeah. It says, girl in Louisiana and Arkansas, the police and justice system can be so corrupt. The police yeah. This one just seems so sloppy. Aren't they saying they can't bring up the previous stuff done with the daughter and this man's history? I know. So all those charges, those 43 SA charges, they're saying because they were dismissed because he's deceased. So they're saying that those can't even be brought up. So would they think that this guy, Aaron Spencer, woke up at 1:30 in the morning to go murder an innocent man? Like, that's how they're trying to present this case. It is bonkers. And if they do, they're not, I don't even know if they're gonna be able to show the whole body cam footage, because the part that they're obsessed about is where they say, we don't live the cops tell him, we don't live in a country where you can take the laws in your own hand. And he says bullshit. But that's the part that they keep putting in all the filings, that shows that he was intending to off him instead of letting law enforcement deal with it. And that's not the case. That was months prior. And actually, I did get that date wrong when I said it to you guys. It was in July. because it was right before he was arrested in, like right before he was arrested later in July. Yeah, hung jury you can try over and over again, but the state would have to decide. Some you can try once, some you cannot try at all. But where she was, it was forever, which is crazy. I mean, oh my God. We need the Karen Reed people on this case. What are they doing now? Are they all just like on Turtle Boy land or something? Where's all the free Karen Reed people? Do you think that they would get interested in this case? Christine says, sorry, I am driving and using voice to text. Well, I mean, that's pretty talented. Please don't worry, don't stress. Just drive safely, girl. We have the objection. Aunt Lala, how are you doing? I'm so glad you're a member. That's so cool. That's so messed up. It's all over social media. It is, but like, I know though that how quickly word can spread in small towns. So and we need like I need a grid. You guys know how I'm like working to save the land here where I am. Some of you who know me from before, we were talking about that whole thing where it was one of my grandfather's last wishes and then he passed. So now I'm taking it over. It's 40 acres like of land and it's nearby where I live. And the previous owners used it as like a wildlife sanctuary for like at least 50 years. And then now the trustee is selling it to developer. Okay. That's like a long tangent. But my point was that like we are in a very small town. And so like I was able to I go to neighbors' houses. We talk about this in each other's living rooms. And like there's one neighbor who like has literally like a text thread. He can text everyone on the block within like 2 minutes to get like within 2 minutes, he had everyone agreeing to putting signs in their yards. We know someone now in every block. We've literally made a grid. So everyone knows what's going on to text them. We have email lists too, but like sometimes text is, more quick. But that's what we need for this town. I want a grid. I want to know someone on every single street who can tell everyone on their street about this case. How big is Lenoke County? Probably huge. Even small towns are still really big. But I just wonder what the population is. Hey, Christina, I'm coming to sit next to you. Make room. Aunt Lala has her popcorn and wine. So they can use those body cams, but mysteriously deleted the cam. Yeah, the dash cam video. How convenient, right? So it just seems like that could have been I can never say this word right, exculpatory evidence of like what happened on the dash cam because it could have shown the altercation between Fossler and Aaron Spencer before he killed him. And let me just say, like, I mean, I do gun training every year. I do self-defense training. So that, in case I ever need to have to use a weapon here, but thank God I've never had to, but he is combat trained. They don't just randomly unload their firearms on people. I feel like that this must have when he said that Fossler came at him and had something in his hand, he saw his daughter in that car. I bet we probably could have seen some of that on dash cam if you think about it, because it had the front and the back, and it was still running even when it was after it was parked. And we know that it was still running. This is how we know that the dash cam was still running because it caught the cop car lights. That's where the officer messed up. He admitted he saw the red and blue flashing lights. So if it was running when the cops were there, it had to have been running before. Where's that footage? Oh, but they lost the SD card. How convenient. Was anyone else hoping that the anniversary of the filing Wayfair would finally ask for their own sanctions against Lively and her attorneys? Yeah, I do. I still want to see something with Van Zandt. And it was funny because there was a Jeopardy question last night on CJ's stream, like, what was the 1000th filing? And I was like, what? I don't. And she's like, oh, people are talking about it. I was like, were they? I was like, because I know what the 666 filing was. I remember that. It was the Isabella Pereira, her crazy ass lawyer. And I was like, well, go figure, because she's the devil now. So I specifically remember that one, but I didn't remember the 1000th one. But for the 1 year, would have been nice if they asked, but Lyman's not going to grant it. They're going to have to appeal to get any justice, really. It's like they're doing everything to get a conviction, but not justice. Exactly. They're covering their own butts. It's disgusting. Karen filed lawsuits against people, so they are still on that case. Oh, yeah, they're doing the civil suits, Rose Wild. That's right. And people are still following that? Is that even in court yet? Karen Reed supporter here. Well, I feel like the people, like the Karen Reed supporters were very, they were very, very, very smart when it came to like the evidence, when it came to the contradictions, when it came to the state trying to cover their own butt, and I think this case just aligns with that. I don't know. I wish there would be more people. You can bug Dana. I feel like Dana would be a great person to cover. Does she cover things like this? I feel like this would be a good one for her because, I remember she had a good stream when the mommy sleuths were getting attacked, and she's a mom, and I bet she could ask her husband, like, what would you do if this happened to our child? I feel like this case could resonate with her. That would be a good, if you're willing to do that, Christina, that would be awesome. And I feel like whoever does, I feel like this case, it resonates with so many people. And we hate seeing our justice system used like this, and we hate seeing tax dollars wasted like this, and we hate seeing an innocent man being charged with murder for doing something that's like, this was not murder. He saved his kid. He should be getting a key to the city. He should be getting a medal. He should be getting, I hope he's probably going to win for sheriff. Don't stress, just very passionate. Yeah. Oh, Lori Jane says, Christina, all help. Well, it worked on me, Lori. So just do whatever you did with me. Congratulations on, oh yeah, Aunt Lala, congrats. I heard that today on Mandy's stream that you're going to be her new mod. That's pretty cool. You're going to get a blue wrench. Yeah, we have more congratulations. Aunt Lala and Khaleesi, you have to give, Christina's an amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how she does it. Like, she literally is the backbone of all of the streams, in my opinion. And Khaleesi, has stepped up for me too. And it's just been like, I didn't even know she's never modded before. Her first day was kind of chaotic because we had so many things going on. And I was like, can you pull up this stream or a link to this YouTube? And she did it. It was amazing. Pulled up a video that we didn't even know existed of Mike Gottlieb getting interviewed. Just absolutely incredible. I'm so lucky, really. It's only about 4,000 people, and it's east of Little Rock, Arkansas, about 3.5 hours from here. So by Little Rock, so is it like a big sports town? Like, I wonder if there's a way, like, someone there, I know small towns like now because I live in one. Someone there's got an email list with a lot of people on it, like, or, a phone chain or a WhatsApp group. I don't know. But we got that. We got to make sure, we got to like grid off the area and make sure everyone knows. That everyone knows the details, and that he had 63, or sorry, he was 67, had 43 offenses against the daughter, was violating the restraining order, and that Aaron Spencer's a hero. And by the way, there's something called jury nullification. You can say not guilty. I bet you can get 12 people. I was talking about needing to do that because I had to get the gun out of the safe a couple weeks ago. It was a scary evening. Did you? And that's why I went to this training it was, like, really hard, and actually they just closed, I heard, which sucks because 'cause I'm like, "Where am I gonna go now?" But it was so good, and, like, it was 4 days, like, really intense, and you had to learn how to, like, clear the gun, like, all of the, they had a bunch of competitions. There was, like, speed drills, there was, like, distance drills, there was clearing the room drills. They had, like, this crazy setup where it was like all doors. It was just a bunch of doors, and you do this drill where you go through the doors. They had, different simulations where there was like pop-ups, and you had to make sure like which one was the bad guy, not the bad guy. They teach you like 2 shots to the thoracic cavity. But what I learned years ago when I got this one wrong, I never got it wrong again. But if it's a hostage, if they're holding the hostage, you could do a kill shot to the head. And one of the reasons they say that, the 2 shots to the thoracic cavity, and if it doesn't stop them, 1 shot to the head, is so, like, when they talk to you later about it, you can say how many times you shot, whatever. Don't get this advice from me. This is all allegedly, in my opinion. But I just feel so comfortable with my firearm. I've had to pull it out once or twice. I did have intruders one time, like just outside. Um, and that was enough, but I've never actually had to. And everything I was taught where they say like, get off my property or like, you give them like a warning, you yell at them like, get off my property right now or I'm going to shoot. And the only thing that I did different besides all the training was I used the F word every other word. I'm like, get the F off my effing yard, get the F out of here right now. I'm going to effing kill you. And it was all caught on camera. And so I was so proud. And I showed my grandfather. I was like, look at all my training was in action. I did everything I was supposed to do, except I dropped the F bomb every other word. Thanks, Christine. I offered to mod. I'm going to train them for her. I have her downloading all kinds of stuff and helping her grow the channel. I've modded for years, but trained mine. Oh, wow. So you're like an old school mod. What are you having her download? The 666 filing was wild. I don't know. That lawyer was like crazy. I think whatever Ezra and Michael Gottlieb has is contagious. All those lawyers are crazy. It says, I kept saying we need a 1K docket party. Diddy hasn't even hit 1,000. That's so funny, Michelle. That is so good. Rosal said, I have no idea. I never followed the case. I just hear updates from content creators about it. Oh, about the community. I didn't either. I don't know. I tried so hard, but I couldn't get into it. But I did, like, afterwards, I did watch interviews with the lawyers, and I really liked her lawyers. Oh, you're home now. Okay, good, Christina. Let me see what else. Oh, I had the assist with yeah, maladaptive maladies. She was the best researcher. That you guys were so awesome. That stream was a little chaotic, and you guys were amazing. I don't know how you did that, but thank you. Your youngest sister works at the Little Rock courthouse. Does she really? Because there's even more about this guy, this Michael Fossler guy, because he was a cop and a school resource officer in Indiana. Okay, he was the town sheriff, I think. And there was a lot, there was that one victim that came out. She was on Melanie Little, attorney Melanie Little had a streaming about this this other victim, said there was more victims. But for him to be a cop, and he moved again somewhere else, and then he moved to Arkansas. And in Arkansas, he does trucking now. So for him to not still be a cop, at some point, something must have happened. At some point, I think maybe if he did this repeatedly, it had gotten back to where they're like, now you can't be around kids anymore. Now, like, you can't be a cop. Something happened to the point where, like, he was now in Arkansas doing trucking. You live in a small town too in Houston, so you know how it is. Everyone knows everyone. Or like the word can get around really fast. Oh, your small town comment. That is okay. I get it. This one says, the city of Lenoke, where the trial's located, population 4,000. That's not a lot of people. Like, we got to get those people. And you only have to do the 18 and up because those are going to be the jurors. Mal is the man in the chair. Oh, you guys are so cute. Thank you. Didn't he move near? And then that was what's also so crazy. He did move. So one of the victims that got away in Indiana had moved in this, I guess, Lenoke County, Arkansas, and said after Michael Fossler was killed, she recognized him right away. And then she found out he had moved within walking distance of her. How creepy is that? If true, how creepy is that? But she sounded pretty creeped out about it. Like, I mean, I believe it. Her story was very detailed. Like, she said she babysat and that, like, it happened in his room, and the wife was even in the room when it happened, that wife is now dead. I mean, there's a lot of bad juju with this guy. A lot. This is not a good man, and he probably should have been in prison years ago. He probably should have been in prison in Indiana, in my opinion. But now, they're saying that like basically none of these they can't mention any of these charges because they were just charges and they're dismissed upon his death. Yeah, she worked there for 10 years now. Wow. So she's probably heard about this case too. I wonder if she knows anything about this Barbara Elmore lady. Hey, cutie. Oh my God, Quarter Fate's here? Where have you been at? I never see you. You're mostly in the mornings, right? My town has a population of 2,000, really. So it's even smaller. So I feel like when they do this jury selection for this town of 4,000, we should be able to get the word out in the next month before this trial happens so that every single juror knows about it. Hi everyone. I was looking for a while doing some chores as I listen. Okay, well, it's a little crazy. I mean, today we're all over the place. I'm almost at 3 hours. So I'm gonna head off soon and let you all go. But I'm gonna stay on this Aaron Spencer case for sure. I'm gonna stay on it. And if Dana needs any information, Christina, you can tell her, like I can send her whatever I have. Um, we just need to get the word out there, I think. And if Emily really picks this up, Lori, would be incredible because her reach, like she'll be able to reach everyone. Not sure I know the case. We'll check it out. Oh, Aunt Lala, this case? Wow, this case is crazy. So get ready. I can see them not bringing in all the cases, but dang, at least let them bring this in. I know. They have to at least bring in the restraining order, I think, because how could they not? Like this man was actively breaking the guy was breaking the law. Literally breaking the law. I think that should be enough. I mean, even though he's dead, it doesn't negate the fact that he was breaking the law, having this minor in his car that he had just SA'd and that there was a restraining order on. I don't see how they cannot bring that in. I'll send her the short video made along with the case info link. That's a good idea. I think that hopefully it'll be enough to like, she would be a good person because then it would bring like the Team Truth people into it. And us Team Truth here, I mean, I know this case is wild with the Blake Lively, but like we're not going to be seeing anything that important until January 5th, right? So they have time to get into this case, to learn about it, spread the word. It was a nice stream. Part 1, Baldoni and Blake stuff. Part 2, Aaron Spencer. I know. And that Ryan Reynolds stuff is crazy. So you're going to mention it to Emily again. Okay, awesome. And I feel like even someone like, I wish Candace Owens wouldn't do it, but like she would be a good person too to bring attention to it. Or like, I don't know. And you know what else? When I look up Lenoke County on X, because I was trying to see like, is anyone posting about Lenoke County so I can like plug this case and just get the word out there? The thing that popped up was like someone from Lenoke County sued Roblex in California because they were like somehow groomed online. And I want to be like, okay, if you're reporting on that, like report on this. This is also someone in Lenoke County was groomed. And then now the dad is up for murder, is gonna go to prison because he like saved his daughter from this in the kidnapping of this person. DFJ coming into the live so I can say DFJ, that area on Spencer case that on Spencer case you're doing is wild, so people get curious. Oh, keep coming on the live so I can say that. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good plan. You have to tell me when Dana's on next. She does a schedule, so she's easy to figure out. You tell me when, and I'll be there so I can bring it up. Breaking the law, breaking the law. All right, well, oh yeah, maybe Megan Kelly. That's a good one. That's a really good one. She has one lawyer who I really like, who commentates sometimes on her stream, who offered for free to help. I forgot what case it was for. That's a really good idea. Because I should reach out to that lawyer who's really good. Yeah, Court TV. I don't know where they are. I've tagged them. I will reach out to them again. Maybe like Anjanette Levy, her. What about lawyer you know? You know, he did do something on this case a long time ago. I think he did something on this case when it first happened. So I wonder if he knows that, like, the gag order's lifted, there's a bunch of new filings. I mean, nothing that great, but, like, we know it's going to trial now. How close is Florida to Arkansas? Probably not that close. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I remember when we were trying to when Dave Neal was trying to get the Laura Owens case picked up, the serial pregnancy faker by Court TV, so we all did, like, a letter writing campaign. He, like, gave us all the emails, so we did it. Maybe I can try to coordinate something like that again and get some email addresses we can all send this to. Yeah, I'll send to BJ as well because she covered Roblox, really. Zach was on Court TV for what? That's amazing. I missed that. I need to check that out. He's how I heard about Karen Reed. Oh, lawyer you know is? So that's a good point. So that would be a good person to reach out to. I feel like he's so big now, like he probably won't even get my email, but I'll email him. Because like I was following him back for the Depp trial before he blew up, and I was in one of their first fantasy football leagues. So I do have his email. I would do anything to protect my kids and grandkids. My cousin's 6-year-old daughter, oh, I remember, was murdered. My cousin on the live. Yeah. So you get it, Deborah. I know this definitely resonates with your family. You and your legal mindset did one on Roblox too. Oh, he did? Isn't he like in Asia? I wonder, whatever it takes to get eyes on this, I would do it. And if he did it on the Roblox, I mean, the fact that's the same county, you know, that's really interesting. Um, yeah, that was a good episode, Christina. Totally into Nima. Okay, so I have to find that Court TV with Zach. I didn't know that. That's so cool. Anyways, so that is what my next thing will do. That will be my homework. Okay. I'm gonna get an email list. I'm gonna get, put together like a little like a draft you can use or not use to reach out to these people with the links to different information. And we'll just see if we can get anyone to pick it up. And if we do, great. If we don't, and then I'll also below, as soon as we get off, I will link the what is it? GoFundMe, Go Send Go or something. I'll link that too. And so I can send that out to all the people because he's going to need a legal fund. So, oh, Bush Birds might cover it. Wow. I mean, this is more important than dumb streamer copyright lawsuit. Christina. I think that's the comment to end the stream. Anyways, I love you all so much. You guys are amazing. This was like, I did not think the stream was going to go like this today. It was kind of like out of the blue. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. You're all so amazing. Take care of yourselves. I love you all. Thanks to all. I'm so excited for all my new members. And I'm going to put some information. I'll add it to the description, and you guys will be hearing from me soon. I'll make it a post on YouTube and on X. Okay. So thank you all. Have a good night. Love you. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Khaleesi.